no, though. Because we didn't get a chance to talk about this. We didn't get a chance to talk about, yo, what's up with that shit that happened downtown?
Oh, you talking about the kids?
Yeah. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts, Spaces? Mr. Spaces?
I heard I was just like, look at all those young black kings and queens down there.
Stop lying. Stop. Be real. Stop.
Black kings and queens.
Stop. Don't do that. Be real.
You couldn't let me.
No, because you
let me be sarcastic.
No, because you're lying. We don't need no sarcasm. We need some real truth telling right now. That's the problem. We being sarcastic and we trying to. That was the whole problem with them kids. Because you guess what all them kids down there got in common? They mamas trying to be their friends and not fucking parents.
You know, interesting enough, a lot of the people that were
No.
a lot of the people that were arrested were adults though.
They were adults?
Mm-hmm. People that were arrested.
That I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything I heard about it was all
They was like teenagers.
teens, yeah.
That's all I kept hearing was teenagers.
I mean, it was a wild day for Chicago. I mean, they were at the Cubs game. White people tearing up shit and beating.
Oh, they was?
Yeah.
They ain't show that though.
I know. Yeah.
So it's just a wild day all around the board, and what you go.
I mean, hey, look, what they were doing downtown was definitely orchestrated. You know, back in the day when we were kids, or teenagers and stuff like that, I had never thought, let's all hop on the blue and green line, go downtown, try to get into. At that time, it was just Grant Park, and see if they'll let us in. Oh, they ain't gonna let us in. Let's go storm the Mag Mile and go tear that shit up. Well, I was scared of my mother, and I think people really don't, or children these days, or whatever you want to call them, teenagers don't have any respect or for authority, any respect for other people's property.
Yeah.
I mean, if we, people possibly could have gotten killed. Did somebody get killed?
No, some people, fights happen. Well, I don't know if anybody got killed, but I know
some
fights
people got shot.
And yeah.
But, it's unfortunate. So.
But when you look at it, bro, it all boils down to it, like you say, this younger generation don't have, like you say, no respect for nobody else's property, no respect for nobody else's authority. Mm-hmm. You can't tell them nothing. Because I hate that, we always say, oh, back in my day or back in this day and I don't like really saying that because it is a different day and time. Mm. But it's the true thing. A little big back father, if another adult had to tell you something or had to get on you about something, you're considered now embarrassing your parents. So now that's an ass whooping when you get to the crib.
Yeah.
Because somebody else had to tell you, like, I ain't give you the proper home training. You ain't got the proper, wherewithal to know what you're doing and all this stuff. So now that's an ass whooping. Like, no question asked. That's a ass whooping.
Yeah.
Because somebody else had to discipline you like I have not been disciplining you, and I have not told you how to act. Mm-hmm. So that's the case when kids having kids and don't tell my baby nothing. You got something to tell my baby, you come tell me. No, it don't work like that.
Well, what do you think about, and this is one of the responses that I've heard from the from people in general, and I've heard this from for people who are joining us, we're talking about last Saturday's what were they doing? Just tearing up downtown.
Tearing up acting straight ignorant. Yeah. Just straight tearing up people's property.
Well, what do you think about, we got the new mayor, Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson, this is his nice name, I think. Yeah. But go Brandon, right? I guess people might not know what that means. Do y'all know what the go Brandon means? Mm-mm. Go Brandon means F word Joe Biden. How did they come up with that? I don't know, but that shit's hilarious. So if you ever see go Brandon, that means F Joe Biden. Yeah, I mean, don't try to, but this shit's hilarious. So go Brandon. But Brandon was saying that, and along with other people, he was saying that the children don't have anything else to do. We need more. We need more. Things put into the community, things put in place, job opportunities, something outside of school for them to do. What do you think about that?
When at the weekend?
Yeah, it was Saturday.
So what does school got to do with that?
Well, other activities in general, work, maybe some, I don't know, extracurricular activities where children are.
Bro, that's like 10 to 15% of the problem. That ain't the whole goddamn problem. That's some of it, and I'm gonna give that a small percentage. 80 to 90% of that problem is fucking parents, bro. It's no hands down. It's fucking parents. It's parenting. It ain't got nothing to do. You can say all that you want to. They parents this. They live in problem situations. We grew up in the same fucking situations. We was in the same predicaments. So you can sit up there and say that, but I knew better because I knew my mother will fuck me the fuck up. That's just hands down. My mama will fuck me up.
I think one of the key difference between our age and time and theirs, right? And I think we brought it up before, is actually social media and the internet. That's something you think about that we really didn't. Now, granted, I do think parenting is a big deal, but when you have meetups and stuff like on, quote unquote meetups on TikTok, people can, congregate on TikTok, Facebook groups, and things like that. That allows you to meet other people outside of whatever your normal little neighborhood is. And, link up with people and say, okay, we can all come together and we could go do this over here. Versus, okay, me and Maul on Chicago Avenue in Trumbull. We're not finna go do that. We're gonna go get the dude and down there in Humboldt Park and take his bike.
Why it had to be we gonna go take his bike, bro?
Because that's what you remember. I be using your stories. You see how I'm saying? I be using your stories that you be.
Oh my god, man! He said he gonna go take his bike.
Versus whatever we do in the community, that's just something what we doing within the community. We're not gonna stray too far outside the community. But when you got all the just access to internet and access to social media and stuff like that, you can see that, okay, other people are down here. Hey, y'all, let's go down here. You see what they doing down here? Of course, like I said, it is a parenting thing as well. Like, I think parenting is the number one thing. But also, in that equation, I think, just social media has something to do with it. Everybody wants to be around, at least be around. It may not necessarily participate, but say, you know what, I was there. Just as we was watching the fight last night. Right, and you was like, man, I don't know why everybody whipping out their phones, on the little bitty ass TV, just to show that they was there.
But you gotta look at it like this too. Like you're right about that, and that's coming from the perspective of teenagers. Mm-hmm. But as parents, like, bro, I do random calls. I go on my find my iPhone and see what the fuck, because my son ain't going nowhere without his phone. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go random, where you at? Mm-hmm. And if I see you somewhere where, you're not at the school, you're not at the crib, I don't see you driving around with your mama or nothing like that, where are you? What are you doing? Mm-hmm. And every time because my son getting of age, and I know you probably have the same, I don't think you do because you got your daughter of age now and whatever, but I always tell him, don't be out here acting like me and your mother didn't teach you how to act. Mm-hmm. Just because other kids is doing it, that don't mean you doing it. Mm-hmm. Now, my big thing with children are, if you did something bad, bro, make sure you did that and you was the leader of that. Because what's going to get you in more trouble with me, and I tell my son all the time, is if you following behind somebody else being ignorant, being stupid. It wasn't like it was your bright idea. You following behind somebody else's dumb, goofy-ass idea. Mm-hmm. So that's what pissed me off. It's going to still piss me off more, but I'm saying that will make me mad even more. But you always got to have, you be the leader of things. If you see your friends doing something, okay, y'all do that, I'm about to go home. I'll call at y'all later. Yeah. You got to have that with all. You got to teach your kids that. Teach your kids that just because somebody else doing something, it don't matter if they call you pussy or whatever, whatever fuck they want to call you. You need to turn around, you need to walk away and go on about your other business. because you ending up and then you fucking up. Like I always say, kids around here doing adult shit comes with adult consequences.
Right.
So you out here doing and tearing up people's shit that can fuck up your life for the rest of your life. You sitting up here tearing up cars, tearing up property. You know the higher you tear up shit, the more of a felony it become that follows you. Mm-hmm. So you can be down here doing what you want to do. And then it ain't like y'all was in the neighborhood. Y'all niggas was downtown.
Yeah. Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah.
For it to come out and be that many people. But it's crazy because the YouTube in my algorithm, the YouTube community in my algorithm, literally everybody was talking about it. Now Chicago is the scapegoat again for, crime and bad behavior in 4 years. in these people who aren't from Chicago's eyes, right? Because literally everybody, excuse me, whenever they're having conversation about bad behavior in the community, they reference this situation.
Oh, this just okay.
And just recently, in terms of recent conversation. Before that, Chicago was looked at as one of the most dangerous cities to live in or to be around.
I always crack up on that. That's far from the truth. I mean, in Chicago, dangerous. I mean, like every major city, though. Right,
I agree, and that's what I don't. When I do chime in and certain like somebody, I was in a live stream, and I just happened to be able to look at the live stream chat, and this dude was. Actually, it was an Anton Daniels live stream, and he was talking about this situation with the kids downtown. And he was making his jokes, and I was laughing or whatever because he was going overboard like crazy.
You don't like people drilling on the city, do you?
It was.
If you really don't know though, like I mean, if people aren't, it's one thing if it's like watching, like me giving my opinion on your favorite comedian, right, Joe Coy, right? I can't give a proper assessment about Joe Coy because I haven't watched his special,
right,
or specials enough to be like, you know what, I don't like it, or you know what I mean, I see why you like it, or so on and so forth. People cracking jokes or whatever about Chicago is again as bad as any other city and as good as any other city, right? Your impoverished neighborhoods are going to be impoverished, right? So you're going to have issues within those neighborhoods. That's just what it is. What happened downtown, this isn't an everyday occurrence, right? This isn't thing that, you just go down, we can stop the live right now and just tune in and we can just see motherfuckers tearing up Chicago downtown. No, that's not what happened.
Right.
And then there's also complicit. Who's being complicit in this? Are the police being complicit? Because every time that I go downtown, there's always a litany of police down there. So what happens when these guys show up? You mean to tell me that you don't see a crowd, a march of teens coming downtown? Like nobody's stopping them? Nobody said, hey, raise the bridge. like you did last time. Mm-hmm. So when people, to me, like y'all try to bash the city, we wear the city like, or every other place, they wear their city like, other people, foreign people would wear their country. Like you can't talk about Viva la Mexico, right? Shout out to Tank. But so we wear that like that as far as Chicago. So I think when you got to be here, you stay out of, you just stay out the way. Stay out of different neighborhoods if you're not from around there.
But like you said, that's from every town.
Mm-hmm.
That's from every place. Even if you go in Florida, you can't just be running around to my, hey, what's up? Nah, it don't work like that, bro. Unless you around there with somebody, especially now if you breezing through, but don't be going around here standing on corners like people come here and have an attraction from O Block.
Mm-hmm.
Like you keep on playing, you gonna get what you asking for.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like you say, it's Chicago just like any other city, yeah, but it's also just as beautiful as any other city. In the summertime, you got people that live and love the city. That shout outs to DXPH, love the city dearly, that are like for real. And I understand them and I feel them on that, because when you got people that have some sense and people that have common sense or whatever, and we get together, nigga, just have fun. We don't be on that.
Have a good time.
Yeah, just have a good time. We go out and we have good times everywhere we go.
Yep.
God forbid anything happen, but we always having a good time. We always run into other people that's having a good time too, and that's just as polite as us, just as, friendly as us, just as all that stuff as us. They don't be on that bull stuff anyway. They don't be on that bull job too. But
good afternoon, Naps and Beauty.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sister. Every day.
So, what did I think about the situation? I was embarrassed. Because it's just, I know people are going to make jokes. Like, people are going to talk about it. Whatever people see in the news, they're going to do whatever they want with the information that they're saying, that's being provided to them. But I'm just like, geez Louise, man, what is this even about? Right. What is this even for? Like, why aren't y'all? Did they release? I guess it didn't matter because it was so many. But I remember listening to the radio recently, within I don't know, last year or two, I guess, if you want to call that recently. And GCI still does that. It's after 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? You know what I'm saying? So,
do they have to do that?
What you mean?
I'm just saying you should know where your kids are in general.
Well, I mean, look at what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, do they know? Do these people know where their kids were? Because you'll have parents that are like, okay, their child is saying that they're going downtown, but do you know what they're going to? How much can you really know about what their intentions are about what it is that they're doing? You know what I mean? Because the divide between the generations, from not generation, but the relationship with parent to child, does exist. There's a divide. There's a gap.
Yeah.
There's stuff happening on TikTok that parents that don't even have TikTok installed on their phone don't know about.
It's true.
So if this information got passed through TikTok, the parent that doesn't have TikTok wouldn't know about it.
But that's why you
I
start.
don't have TikTok. My daughter, she better not bring her ass downtown. I'm talking about, first of all, we don't live like that.
Yeah, but what you said is absolutely true. But any parent that says something and make that an excuse, that's just an excuse. Because your kid can have all those things. But when your kid talking about, oh, Pops, Mom, I'm about to go downtown. What are you going downtown for? Oh, a group of kids. Nope, not going. It's just the simple fact of you asking questions to asking where your kid, because my son right now to this day will come and ask me and his mother, oh, I'm finna just go outside or whatever. He will tell us. And that's what type of relationship you should have with your kid. They should be telling you what they're doing, or they should be telling you they're going outside. So, oh, I'm going over my friend such and such house. So I can at least know where you are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So for parents to be talking about, oh, they had TikTok, they organized this, they did that, you should at least know where your kids are going anyway. Mm-hmm. And if they lied to you, then that's another conversation for another day. That's another conversation we need to have. Why are you lying to me for?
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I thought, like, when I saw the video, I'm like, damn, here we go again. Not necessarily about, these teens tearing up things or whatever. It was like, okay, we've elected another black mayor, right? So we've elected another black mayor. So now let's do these TikTok meetups, right? So this is how you repay, or this is how you repay a black mayor for being elected. Like, hey, you know what? Let's go, as black people, let's go tear up our shit. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's being orchestrated from an outside group that, hey, go tear up this shit. Since, again, we have, this is why, and this is, it might sound crazy, but I was like, man, let the white man win. Let's see. No, I'm just saying, let's see if it, because under Lori Lightfoot, this was happening, like, left and right.
Yeah.
So let's see if
Lori had it hard.
Paul Vallis, if he were to win, let's see if the same thing happens with the police or whatever. See if they're gonna all of a sudden be there. Like I said, every time I'm going downtown, the police are right there on Michigan Avenue. They sit right there on the median. It's so many police down
every
there.
2 blocks.
Yeah.
Every 2 blocks is a cop car with 2. It's not 1 police officer. It's 2 of them in there. Every other block.
I used this story before. Like when Barack Obama won, 2008. Right, I was down on. I was at my wife's crib. They stayed, where they stayed, off North Avenue, And I seen, it was a commotion. It wasn't really a commotion, but people celebrating on North Avenue and Central, right down there. And so I walked my, happy ass down there. I think I could have been like 23 at the time. I walked down there to see what was going on. And no shorter than the time I was out there in 10 minutes, the police came up. It was like SWAT. Motherfuckers hopped out with batons and, they had full riot gear on. So I'm trying to figure out how is this something different. And it was, it could have easily been 100 of us out there. And they hopped out with full riot gear, paddy wagons, the whole nine. So what's keeping y'all from doing that? What's keeping y'all from having, rubber bullets in your guns?
What'd he tell you?
Oh, the big white guy. I don't know, and I don't know why he walked up on me. I was the least threatening looking of them all, Maybe because I had the braids or something. But dude ass, and I'm 6 feet. I'm a little over 6 feet. Dude that had to be about 6'3", 6'4". He walked up to me with full riot gear, had the baton out. He basically told me to move around. And I did just that, boy. What you talking about? I'm not finna. Boy, look, the little teeth I got, I'm trying to keep them bitches. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't finna hit me in the mouth. I got it.
Oh, shit, man.
So, I'm trying to figure out what's keeping the police from, acting on that. I'm not necessarily saying use deadly force against children, but if deadly force were to happen, then he'd be like, oh, y'all didn't have to do that to my kids, and so on and so forth.
Dude, yep.
And they'd be like, well, your kids ain't even have to be down here. We can stop all that from the gate.
Segway.
No, one more thing. Keep that thought.
Okay.
So one of the things that I heard in the conversation when I was watching the Anton Daniels live stream, it was a dude that said, I would never go to Chicago, right?
Appreciate you.
Right?
We don't need you here.
Wait, where's he from? Did he say?
Atlanta.
Well, we down there. You ain't gotta go. we fucking your shit up too.
I was like, bro. I had to respond. I was like, bro,
Atlanta,
y'all have metal detectors in your malls, bro.
Look,
He said, that's why I don't go.
Atlanta,
Okay, you understand.
I'm not trying to jam on Atlanta, but I mean,
I wasn't trying to get into Chicago, who's worse kind of conversation, but it was just like, man, if you can't be from a city that's an equivalent or worse than Chicago and talk about Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta ain't. It's not Seattle. Goddamn it, it's not. What else is very safe? Shit, I guess New York. Per capita, right? None of
they got the RoboCops out there now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Atlanta. I know you ain't talking shit.
But sorry, what you said? What?
Oh, because we segueing, right? Because we was talking about kids, right? And you was talking about if your kids would never did that or whatever. So what about, it was something else that happened. Somebody sent me, I'm not on social media, so people send me stuff. Where the girl swung on the teacher put the what's happenings on her, ass all out, and people were talking about the teacher didn't have to do that to her.
Tell you what, we could definitely go into that.
Welcome to another episode of the KNoWKi podcast. It's your man Spaces.
This your boy Ma.
It's Jay every day.
Real quick before we get into that, because we're going to talk about it. How was y'all last week?
Man, it was buddy. You talking about taxes? Look,
man.
You know what I'm saying? If I've gotten older through the years, I see why tax day is stressful. You know what I mean? You start. I don't really gray up here, but I gray here. I think I got an extra couple gray strands. Taxes. So hopefully you filed your taxes. This year was April 18th. So it's been pushed back. For years past, it used to be the 15th. So it's probably been April 18th for past few years. We got our soon-to-be accountant right there, Naps and Beauty. So she can tell you anything about as far as taxes. But taxes is that was the big thing for me. And again, if you didn't file, hopefully you filed for your extension, and hopefully you paid your taxes, whatever that it was. Because then if you don't, they're gonna hit you with a penalty. So you got to pay that penalty until you pay your taxes off or whatever. But yeah. Well, outside of that, man, everything was great. I like to use this little time real quick though to really just highlight special people, right? I think this is something I want to do instead of really talking about myself, right? Because we talked about me enough, and just I want to highlight, I don't know, you gentlemen, right? Right? I'm gonna highlight you gentlemen, right? Just because, we keep each other, going. Yeah. I've learned so much from you gentlemen. We've done this in the past, but I think I'm gonna do this every week about somebody, you know what I'm saying? That I thought about each week, like, oh man, they really did this instead of, spotlighting myself. I just, like I said, we always look out for each other. You always look out for me. And, it's just great, being brothers on this podcast, and not
Likewise.
just on this podcast, but just outside of that, right? You know what I mean? So that's what I want to do.
I'm not doing this.
So early in the year. Speaking of crime, boy. Look, I almost used one paying that goddamn taxes. You know what I'm saying? I went to the bathroom and I hit myself with the. Well, you gotta say them cries. You gotta say your cries.
I'm not doing it.
You don't know until you're old, goddamn.
I'm not doing it. Hey, but I'll tell you another thing though too, because I'm in the kind of the same bracket that boy is. But I've learned because I watch financial podcasts and I invest in stocks. Go get you some stocks, bro. Tell dead ass, go get you some stocks, because them losses, them gains, and whatever, you get the fat out of them taxes. And you find out real quick, you fuck around, you be like, oh, I owe $4,500, and then you put that shit in there, they finna give me $2 million.
Yeah.
So, hey, go start putting them couple dollars, man. Start saving some of your chips. Quit spending your money on all this frivolous shit, trying to stun and all that shit. And go get you some Nike stock, man. Go get some shit like some Jordan stock or something like that. Go get you some Apple stocks, some motherfucker, some ETFs and some shit like that. I'm gonna throw a couple gems out there. Go find your ETF with all that shit up in it and get them. Because the stock market been kind of down. It's gonna bounce back up, but you get to write all them losses on them taxes. Last 2 years, I've been looking kind of lovely with them losses I've been getting. I've been able to write them shits on my taxes. I'm not even so I wasn't, I ain't have to shed no tear when I went in there, because I would have cried too. We'd have been crying together, bro. We'd be like, hey, bro, this shit ain't right, man. This shit not right. But I feel you on that, though. Jay, every day. I feel you.
Yeah.
I too shared that sentiment.
You had to pay?
Yes, bro. I was like,
tax season.
No, he cut you out. You didn't even know it. He straight cut you out, me. You was holding your heart.
I was like,
yeah.
What?
Hey.
Oh no, bro.
Yeah, TurboTax, how you already is looking, and it started off like
red.
Yeah, and then as I'm adding shit, the numbers steady going up. And I'm just like, damn. And my wife, she's gonna make it worse. She's gonna say, see, that's what you get for working all that overtime. See, gotta stop doing that.
Hey, be quiet. You don't want to tell her shut up.
Yeah.
Just be quiet. Be quiet.
At this point, it's just like,
be quiet. Yeah, be quiet.
Well, I know what I'm doing.
No, you know what I mean? Motherfucker talk all that shit, right?
Yeah.
And we start driving home or something. Hey, you want to go get something to eat at home?
Yeah.
Fuck you talking.
Oh, it's definitely that.
Yeah, something to eat at home.
It's like that until December.
Yeah. But
wait, you want me to go get something to eat with my overtime money?
I'm gonna get me something to eat.
Yeah.
Nah, she always look out. So,
Yeah,
it'd be funny. She was trying to poke me with the fork.
But I try to look at it. I try to look at it with the glass half empty instead of half full.
Yeah.
I mean, with the glass half full instead of half empty, is people say, I want taxes back and all this stuff, and then a lot of people owe taxes. But it's a good thing to owe them, and you have the money to pay them. Which, give or take, you might say no, but I like it to be even. I like to be, when I go get my taxes,
zero.
I don't owe you nothing,
Yeah.
you don't owe me nothing. That's how you know you getting money and you doing your taxes right. Because people that's not really getting money look forward to getting taxes every year. People that don't give a fuck about taxes, they've been getting money all year round. They don't care about that shit. As long as they people that I know that when you in the tax bracket and stuff that we're getting in, it's like, bro, as long as I don't owe them no money, I'm cool. I'm gravy. I wouldn't care about it. But now people who don't get no money and who be always asking to borrow money is always telling me I can't wait to tax season. So that's how I kind of look at it. That's what game I kind of look at. As long as I don't owe nobody money or anything like that, I'm cool with that.
Dapson Beauty says, black love with the black heart emoji, and also says donations help with tax refunds as well. However, read the contribution statement first to see if it could be credited.
Ooh, good game right there. Thank you, Sister Everyday.
Yeah, well, I talked to her that Monday or Tuesday when I was down.
You was on the phone with her?
Well, as soon as she got off work, what can I do? You know what I mean? To be better. Because I do, like, now that's the whole thing as far as, like, GoFundMes and stuff. And maybe, National Beauty, you can answer this because I did forget to ask you when I was on the phone with you. But are GoFundMes considered as, and I probably have to look at the, the contribution statement to see are those, from time to time somebody might need something and I might, feel within my heart that I want to give, so I need to do that, start giving out to Goodwill and shit like that, old clothes and things, because I think you can just randomly fill out a number for them, just be like, yeah, this was $500.
I wonder what about quick pays?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
What about quick pays? I wonder if you give out quick pays and send people money, you can count that and deduct that too.
Well, I think that's the whole thing, though. I think that's why the government's trying to get on top of shit like the Zelles and the Cash Apps.
Yeah.
Because they looking at that as kind of money laundering.
Oh.
So they trying to keep niggas from like
just sending money back and forth.
Nigga, you thought you was slick.
Yeah.
And,
cash
and on top of that, without them getting a cut. Because it's all at the end of the day, all this shit is about the government getting its cut. You sell drugs, cool, we gonna get you from tax evasion because you didn't give us our taxes.
You didn't give us our portion of what you
like,
doing.
bro. How am I supposed to file that, bro?
But I wonder if you do file it, would they kind of look the other way?
I wouldn't even want to try it because then it's like
you selling drugs.
Right? You selling drugs.
Just say just a big nice thought like you give me for tax evasion, right? You I'm a big drug kingpin. You give me for tax evasion.
Allegedly. Hypothetically.
Yes,
He gonna get us all looked into.
Look, so now you come in and be like, oh, you got tax evasion, you owe all this money. What do I be like? Okay, look, I got all this cash. You can have this.
Yeah.
If you let me go.
Yeah.
That's actually what I'm noticing because I just recently started watching Snowfall. I restarted Snowfall.
I need to start watching it from the beginning.
Yeah, I had to because it's been so long since I watched it. I think I'm behind the last 2 seasons. I think I stopped at 4. But like you just made me think about it. Like, okay, can you get off of this? What we've seen in the movies where the drug lord or whatever is selling drugs, and then the government comes down on them and they say, all right, well, you made $1 million, we'll take everything. And the drug kingpin lord or whatever says, all right, well, you take $350 and then I'll go. All right, you take $700 and I'll take you know what I'm saying?
The rest, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I've seen that. So I see where you say that. Like, or I don't know who said it. Could you
sit down for these X amount of years? Would you sit down? That's what happened to, I guess, I don't know if he's from New York, right? Heavy set, I don't know, Dominican cat or something. But he got caught in like some cable scams or he was doing something. And they only he could have got 30, 40 years. They gave dude ass like 4.5. And then he gets to, I guess, pimp off with the rest of the money.
No, what about the other dude though? Because I
JJ, what you behind that?
JJ, what's going on?
What's up,
Jolanda Moore?
Jolanda?
Good afternoon. I was going down the rabbit hole and I was looking at drug kingpins, and it was one dude who said, "Oh, everybody talk about BMF was this." He named another dude named Blunt something. Then somebody else came behind him and said this dude named Frank. I think it's Frank Matthews.
Yeah, Frank Matthews.
They say he was the biggest ever.
Right.
They say he was supposed to be in court in New York. Him and his wife disappeared and they ain't been seen since with $20 million.
Yeah, so
did
did
he
they
was on trial for
disappear
22.
or did they disappear?
Yeah, but then nobody see him, so you don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. If it worked out on behalf. Now.
But if it didn't work on behalf,
and you in the bottom of, the Hudson River.
probably the motherfucking Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, which is connected to the Hudson River.
The Pacific Ocean?
Yeah.
Nelson Beauty says if it's a nonprofit organization with a 501c3 status,
oh shit! Jesus, what was that article? That's a tax code.
With the 501c3 status, the GoFundMe could be accounted for as long as you keep all of your statements by the next tax season. All right, spit that game then. Nelson Beauty.
So I'm gonna
throw that knowledge at us.
Basically, what you saying? Stop giving the motherfuckers GoFundMe. Because I ain't got a 501c3 or none of that.
LMNOP.
Yeah,
I ain't got that one.
So.
JJ said, LOL, I was moving. Y'all, I'm back though, trying to settle in. Okay.
So
I ain't mad at it.
What's up?
I ain't mad at it.
Oh, you like the Jeffersons. You moved on up, huh?
To the west side.
She finally got a piece of her pie.
If you moved out west, go back. Go back.
To where you were.
Come back to where you were.
All right, so let's go back to I think he gave you the clip, didn't I? I think it's in the group chat. Okay. He gonna insert clip here, right? And it was the clip of the young lady where the teacher took their phones, and I think she told the young lady, "Your mother have to come get your phone," right? So the young kid, wanna be grown. Want to tell all the other classmates, I'm going to do something, y'all record all this or whatnot, right? So she goes up there telling her, cussing at the teacher, telling her, you're going to get my phone, this, that, and the third. The teacher say, back up, get out of my personal space. She moves her back. The little girl swung on the teacher. You can tell both of them can't fight. Because, if the little girl swung, the teacher spoke, boop, boop, give her a quick two-piece. And this will be over with.
Tank Davis.
Kidney shot. Yeah, kidney shot. Have her piss and blood for a little while. Right? So then the teacher beats her up, has her on the ground, ass all in the air. So she's on the ground.
Keep going.
So
she clearly ain't had no drawers on. What she doing up in there with no drawers on?
That's a fact too. She tried to let it breathe.
I don't know if I think she did, to be honest. But go ahead.
So she beats her up. And there was a lot of people.
It stopped.
It stopped right where her ass threw in there.
Yeah. So then people were in the comments saying that, the teacher was wrong. She should never did the student like that.
Yeah.
Like, this, that, and the third. So I want to get y'all thoughts, because I asked the question. Or if y'all want me to go first, I'll go first as well, too.
It seems like you want to go first.
No, I don't. I'll let y'all go.
That, so go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Not no draws.
She out here like that. Teacher knows she should have had the granny panties on.
No.
Some shorts on under that.
You said no, she shouldn't. Okay, go ahead though. Go ahead.
No, but to me, that little girl have heard her parents tell her that no adult can't tell you this. Probably heard her mother go off on adults for talking to her crazy. Have probably had no respect for adults and, sitting up here talking about you can express. Like, it's a difference between expressing your feelings and just being flat out disrespectful.
Yeah.
This little girl ain't been getting no discipline at the crib. Because if you was, you wouldn't have did nothing like that. You wouldn't have, tried to, swing on the teacher, come in the teacher personal space, or whatnot like that. So it's just a lot wrong, and then people saying that the young lady is wrong, the teacher is wrong. So what was she supposed to do? She was just supposed to let the little girl beat her up in there? Just hit her and punch her and do whatever the fuck she wanted to do?
Supposed to fall and hit her head and sue the school.
Shit, she's still going to sue anyway because her security was at risk.
Oh, man, that's a difficult case now.
She's just defending herself.
But I'm just talking shit. I don't know.
But it's just, and then the ignorance of people, like you could tell the people who don't have no common sense and no sense of telling her, oh, the teacher was wrong. How is the teacher wrong in that situation? How?
I feel like a child who's willing to fight a teacher is a child that fight their parents.
Somebody else said that. No, somebody else said that too. They say she didn't hit a couple of adults at home, and ain't no consequences came behind it.
Because there's no way, like, for me, like, thinking about my child and my children, that, you know, I'm finna be okay. Like, of course, I'm not gonna allow a teacher to pick on my children, right?
Yes.
So anytime that, you know, as long as my child is expressing to me, like, granted, I know this is a substitute teacher, so this isn't somebody you see on a daily basis, right? But it just in general, if my child is conveying, you know, letting me know certain things, she's letting me know, hey, I'm having a problem with this teacher. So it just can be recorded, right? So as a child, but I tell my children, you don't take matters into your own hands.
Especially with adults.
Right? And she took your phone, she took everybody's phone. She took it for a reason.
Yes.
Right? There was a reason, that's consequences. You know, as we always say, every action has an equal or greater reaction, right? So the teacher took the phone, right? That was the action, right? She gave it back. She gave them all back. That was the action. The kid reaction is to go get her, so she didn't get. Clearly, it was something about that girl. What she was doing was extra. So she decided that she's gonna swing on the teacher. Well, the teacher's reaction is to beat the brakes off her ass, right? You know. So again, as a child, just stay in the child's place. We always growing up, that's what our parents told us. Stay in the child's place, right? Any battle, I can fight for you. Let me fight for you, or whatever, or smooth it all out if I got to.
But you know what it is? It's not parents being parents. It's parents trying to be friends. That's what this whole thing is really like boiling down and really getting crazy to, is because nowadays everybody talking about, oh, you have to be friends with your kid. Your kid got to be friends. You know, you got to be buddy with your friend. That's the wrong. Like, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but it got to be boundaries. It got to be to a certain extent. Because I'm still your father. I'm still your mother at the end of the day. No matter what. We're not buddy. We're not drinking together. We're not smoking together. We're not going to have twin day where we wearing the same clothes. We're not going to no club. We're not sitting up here, you dating the father, I'm dating the son. It's not none of that shit going on. That's the thing.
Me and my son together. Hey, twin.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no.
Fuck out of here, boy. That's my what?
No.
Boy, you better sit down and go watch Mario.
And that's the point. It's her parents is probably trying to be her friend instead of being parents and parent.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to make this shit like it's being a parent is difficult. But when you had kids, that's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
It's being a difficult task. All your kids not come out the same. But you're not disciplining her and doing all these other things. That's what's wrong with society today. We're trying to be motherfuckers' friends instead of being parents.
One thing, real quick, is like, I remember my wife was telling me she was picking up my son from school. And one of the little club, I'm assuming one of these is his little classmates, right? So they're in 4th grade. And, you know, my son, you know, my kids go to school out west. The kids say to, I guess, to the security guard or the teacher, the kids say, little boy, he say, boy, we'll come up here and I had them, what do you say? I had them do something to you. They'll be wearing shirts on you, you know, of you up here. You know what I'm saying? Have them pouring out liquor for you. You know what I'm saying? We'll be smoking a pack of you. Like, how do you say that as a kid? Like, my kid's mindset ain't even there. Like,
you know what that
smoking a pack of the security guard?
But you know what that is, though? He didn't heard his uncle say that.
Yeah.
He didn't heard his father say that. He didn't heard his mothers them say that. He didn't heard aunties say that. He didn't heard a lot of people in his household say stuff like that in front of him for him to go to school and thinking that's cool.
Hey, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy. But
Yolanda say these parents are lost souls, unfortunately. Absolutely.
But with this situation overall, I've heard both sides as what you guys might have heard.
Yeah.
So first, the question that I've heard people ask, or the part that I've heard people talk about, is the teacher being wrong, right?
yeah,
People say the teacher was wrong. So they say she didn't have the wherewithal or the knowledge or the situational awareness to de-escalate the situation. And de-escalate meaning in that situation, she give the phone back and then just go and tell the principal, or she just being the adult, she walks out of the room with the phone and go tell the principal, get somebody else to do it.
That was an option. I did think about that. Like, go tell the principal, go handle that. Tell her to wait right here. Tell you what, wait right here and go get somebody else.
Right. And now, see, this is the thing, too, right? Because I played that scenario out of my head. Yeah. If she's in her face right now with trying to get the phone back, reaching all in her personal space, by the way, because I even seen the teacher try to pick up the phone and call somebody.
Yeah.
which I assume was maybe, I don't know, maybe some school security if they have that, or call somebody else, whoever it was. The girl reaches for the phone, or I don't know if she had the phone in one hand and reach and touch the phone to call with the other hand or whatever. But the girl reaches in and touches her hand while she's trying to dial. But if the teacher tried to walk out, I feel safe in assuming that the student was going to try to get in her way and not allow her to leave.
Okay, cool. Now you can take off on her.
Now it's like now you're in my face, you're harassing me, right? And I took your phone as a teacher because you were doing something wrong, right? Because it'd be idiotic to say she just took her phone because she wanted to, right? But what should she have done then? What if she tried to leave the room and the student still got in her way? Or maybe what if she got the phone? I guess people think that because the substitute teacher was an adult dealing with the child, that she should have the situational awareness to de-escalate the situation. And in that situation, though, I don't see how many other ways you could really, really expect somebody to not react to somebody invading their personal space.
So I look at teenagers not as children. I mean, are they under the age of 18? Yes, right? Under the eyes of the law. But say, for instance, that child were to, commit murder or something, right? They're going to be charged as an adult. So anytime, when I'm dealing with teenagers, I know that they're younger than me, and I know their mindset isn't as developed as mine. Not to say that I got my mindset real, but you know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah.
So, but I don't look at them as, obviously I don't look at them as an equal. However, like, I know that they have a potential, like a 15, 16, 17-year-old boy, possibly could knock me out with one punch, right? You ever seen these dudes? Like, they big, right? So I'm not saying I couldn't eat that, but what I'm saying is, you just as if, they were to commit a crime or murder, they'd be sentenced and convicted as an adult. So I kind of treat them as adult, you know what I mean? Like, I have to, I don't know how.
Look here, I say this all the time, and I know y'all heard me say this.
Yeah.
Adult actions get adult consequences. So you can say they children all you want to. You can say they're younger teenagers or young adults or whatever. People trying to make excuses for this little badass behavior of this little girl. It's no excuse, because that little girl shouldn't have never been over there in that desk, over there on that other side of that desk, unless that teacher called her and told her to. If she was telling her something that she didn't want the other class to hear. When we were, and I keep hating to say this, but when we were going, you wasn't a...
Sound old, don't you?
Yeah, it's like, we wasn't allowed to do all this stuff. We're giving all these kids freeway to do all this shit, say all this shit, because we talking about they in tune with feelings, mental health. It's like this shit is just, it's a floodgates. Like you say, we're sitting up here saying, and this is no disrespect, and I know people gonna probably, I'm just using this as a thing. We're talking about this trans community, these verbiage and all this stuff, and we're letting people play sports with women, and then when somebody get hurt, then you want to sit up here and say, oh, we shouldn't have did that. Yeah. Why we didn't stop it before? We trying to go and be reaction instead of co-action, instead of action before.
Proactive.
So we study giving these kids freeway to say and do what they want, but then when something bad happens, you want to be like, oh, that shouldn't have happened this, that shouldn't have happened that. No, she got exactly what she deserved. And her mother and her father need their ass whooped too, because you should have gave her home training before she left the house. Yeah. Now, if they not fit to be parents, we need to find this little girl another home where somebody fit to be a parent for. But we can't keep making excuses for little kids for doing shit when you teach them, and we letting them do free range though. We giving them free range to do what they want to do. Adults. That's what I'm saying.
If she would have, think about this, if that young girl were to do the same thing to a police officer, right?
She's going to jail.
She's going to jail.
She's going to jail.
You think the police is just going to let her just beat them the fuck up?
And the other side of it is that I hear people say the student was wrong, right?
Absolutely. Sit your ass down.
100% wrong. 100% wrong. 100% wrong.
Because, bro, I know right now, if a teacher would have took my phone or whatnot, I'm going to You can have it. I'm gonna go find somebody else. Call my mother. She took my phone. She gotta come. You gotta come get it or whatever like that. I'm not
doing that. I'm scared.
I
know I was something I was doing wrong to even get that far. That damn, she didn't got my.
But you
phone.
gotta. It's consequences now. I gotta go ahead and set whatever consequences coming.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not gonna make up nothing like, she just took mine.
No.
She took everybody.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Mine. So
Yeah,
I was
fact.
the extra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was doing something extra.
But then, from what I've heard, because I'm not on social media, so I don't know everything. So this is just like what I've heard. I've heard that the young girl was doing some extra stuff. Mm-hmm. So the substitute told her, your mother have to come get your phone. Mm-hmm. So evidently, you was going wild and above and beyond for her to give everybody else's phone back and not give your phone back. Mm-hmm. So that's the case. Either the substitute knew, if I give your phone back and I tell you and call your parents to come talk to me, they're not gonna come talk to me. But if I keep your phone, your parents is guaranteed to come get your phone though. Mm. They might don't care about you enough to come see what's going on and take a day off work to see why you up here acting up. But if I keep your phone, I guarantee your parents will come get your phone to come holler at me.
So this is also the problem though. Why have phones in class? Them shits can stay in the locker room or the locker, not the locker room.
That's
in your
true.
locker,
That's
right?
true.
It can stay in your locker. People be like, well, that's for the parents and such to communicate. Back in the day, right? They would call the school and relay the message. Hey, this is what's going on. Your mama not gonna be here on time. X, Y, and Z. You don't need a phone for that. Leave that shit in the locker, right? All this, being on the phones and all. No.
You're right, and we
need that.
We grew up perfectly fine. It wasn't nothing going on. You might have you had a couple fights, or whatever. You learned about that after school, but you still was alive.
Right.
Everything was still cool.
Right.
So you technically right about you don't need them phones. You keep them shits in your locker.
It's not like they're responding right away anyway when you text them.
When you get in school, you got to go ahead and cut that shit off anyway. We don't need it ringing. Cut that shit off.
I 95% agree with y'all on that. The only justification I can make for them keeping their phones is, people. Uvalde texted. What's the text? Uvalde. School shooters, basically. Is what
Okay.
Your parents. What's your parents gonna do?
Just for to say that. I was just for the goddamn say. You shouldn't be calling me. We got to call the law to tell them exactly where you at, what's going on in the situation. It's nothing we can do still with they having phones in there. It's still nothing you can do.
Well, I think it's better for in that situation, the parent will want to be able to communicate with their child as best they can.
I get you, but
I'm not trying to put it like that, but if people are shooting, I guarantee you don't have time to be like, hey, you want to get up out of there.
We've talked about where people do less, bro. People stand in the firefight recording.
Have you ever heard shooting?
I'm saying people.
You ever heard shooting go off?
Yes.
Hey, did you stick around and be like, let me call my mama or let me get safe?
I didn't.
Hey, boy.
You guys wouldn't.
Hey, boy, look here. Hey, where them shits coming from?
Yeah, let me go see where it's at.
Hey, where it's coming from? Hey, let me run toss it.
On my phone, like.
First thing is your thing is you ducking behind something to see where these shots coming from so you can go the opposite way.
Right.
That's what your first line of preservation is.
Look, let's be honest, right? That happened. It's crazy that happened.
Yeah.
Damn it, 100% of the time, every day. That's not gonna happen.
I don't disagree. I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. Like, for emergency situations is basically what I'm saying. But even with that, right?
They better watch the news as a parent.
Even with that though, because I know I've read stories where the only reason the parents found out about a situation happening was because one of the students texted their parents. Mm-hmm. So otherwise the parents would have known. That's how the whole story about like somebody came into a school and that's the only reason the parents found out. So emergency situations is the only time I think I could see people having their phone, but there are ways to set restrictions on the kids' phones to where the only people that they can communicate with is their parents or emergency contacts. Yeah. So outside of that, I that's why I said I 95% agree. Just those small emergency situations where it might be a necessity for a child to communicate. Mm-hmm. JJ said if you're trying to hide from an active shooter, you're not gonna be worried about no phone. Why to bring attention? Oh, but I don't know, because No. I forget who it was. It was a rapper. They got shot outside of a club, and people are running. You know, people are frantic, of course, but they're while the shooting is happening. Mm-hmm. You can't. Come on, man. We know we don't know. Might not necessarily know
yes,
people.
Yes, we do. We work with some. We just don't hang with them, but we work with some.
People will be in the situation. They might hide behind a car in the situation, or a door, or but they'll be in the fray. Yeah. Bullets flying with their phone up, recording. Yeah.
And people say I'm harsh for this, but people like that need to die. Like, bro, I'm a realist. All day, every day. And this gonna sound harsh. And motherfucker gonna probably look at me crazy.
You might hear this with the violent.
But bro, when you're doing dumb stuff that can possibly get you killed, it needs to be the worst case scenario. Because why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? You know you can get hurt from doing this, but you did it anyway. I saw a video the other day. Dude was recording another dude telling you, get away from the moose. Leave the moose alone. Get away from the moose.
I know what
Leave
you're
the moose
talking
alone. He said he's not going to do nothing. You say, okay, go ahead and touch him. He go to stop him on his butt. Turn off the run, he on ice. Fall. Moose turn around, look at him, you dumb motherfucker.
I know what you're talking
about. Bro, and all I can think about is like break his leg or something. Do something real bad to him. So he know from now on, when you see moose, you get anxiety, you start pissing and shitting on yourself. Yeah. Because why are you touching it? Why are you messing with the moose?
That's like this happened over the weekend, right? You got the young lady at the Thorntons. I stopped at the Thorntons, by the way, on Jackson. I normally don't stop there, right?
Hey,
but I was
clip here.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hit my car, bro. Bro, my baby hit my car. All you gotta do is oh, my baby hit it. Oh, my baby hit it. Oh, my baby hit it. Hit it. I bet. Oh, my kids ain't for the move. He ain't for the move. He ain't for the move. He ain't for the move. Because if she hit it, it's dead. I'm gonna drive that out of her. Hey, booyah, ready? Damn! She flipped the whole truck. Yeah, you got. Get that. Hey, you got one. Hey, you got one. She just tweet. What's up, black? Hey, you almost just hit my kids in. Lucky mama, you ain't just hit because I be beating your dumb.
I was gonna take a picture and I say this. I was gonna be like Lil Durk and say this is a real famous place right here. You know what I mean? I was on Jackson and Harlem. Y'all know Thorntons.
It's a fact. If you from the city, you know what we talking about.
Right? Because you trying.
If you ain't from the city, hey,
you trying to say that 7 cent, right? So you go to Thorntons.
So you pay that yourself.
No, I wasn't there to buy Red Bull. I don't buy gas from Thorntons.
Hell no,
you know what I mean?
No.
But it was funny because the dude in there, the cashier, he's getting into it with the homeless man. It's just funny. I walked to the counter. I said, "So, what you into it with the homeless?" He like, "Yeah." So I was like, "All right." But you know, but y'all seen the clip, right? The young lady, she was into it. I heard she was into it with her boyfriend. Yeah. And then she got into it with another lady or whatever.
Clip gonna be right here.
Right, clip. Nothing but clips. And then so she proceeds. She's in a Ford Explorer, so you got to watch those people, right? 95, 96. And then, so.
96 was born. Why you say that?
See, he's dangerous. And what he just said, them people should die, right? That's what he means. Gotta watch him, right? And that's exactly what that lady tried to do. She tried to run over the man. She tried to run over the lady. She makes the turn left north on Harlem. Instant karma. Boom. Flips the truck over. Hops out and still start talking shit.
And got on mismatched shoes. And got mismatched flip-flops on.
Boy.
And then guess what? Police came, she tried to run.
Tried to run. Gave her ass some felonies. Now, I don't know. She might get 6 months.
And then, but the bad
women in cars, stay away from a woman who's angry in it. And She in the car still
Yeah,
wet.
but the bad part about that is a person that was at the light didn't have shit to do with this. Car is
Yeah.
fucked up now.
Right.
You know she ain't got in a 96 Ford Explorer right now. You don't have insurance.
Yeah. I know she didn't have insurance, not even liability.
That's what I'm saying. Ain't have nothing.
Yeah, she was tough.
Now the person in the red car stuck with all this bill. Insurance gonna go up, and she got to pay her deductible, or probably $500.
Oh man, that's oh man.
Bro, we live in a wild time. Then they wonder why I say I don't like people. I was saying this last night. I don't like people.
That's why I go to BP. We don't have these problems.
Hey, BP, we don't have these
It's a
problems.
little.
We don't have these
Gas,
problems.
when you out here searching for the cheaper gas, trying to save the 2 and 3 cents and shit like that, you always have problems. You ever notice all Thorntons are sketchy? Every single one of them is sketchy. It's dirty in there. Look at the floors. It's sticky when you come in. Like any place is sticky. Like, man, look, don't go to Thorntons.
I think that's what I was trying to figure out what the lady was saying after she climbed out of her car. How did she get out the car?
She having no seatbelt. Her hands was already on that seat. You ain't see it? When she flipped over, she having no seatbelt, so she was already on that side, and she was like halfway out the window, so she just crawled out. Then reached back in with her hood ass and grabbed her purse. And steady talking shit.
That's the beauty. I did it though.
Boy,
bro.
that's so arrogant, so proud. What they say, you're loud and wrong.
Bro,
They be saying.
that be prick, bro, be shouting to be
Man.
the loudest.
Like
man, look here, bro. Motherfucker do not like people. Bro.
You allow somebody to get you to that point of rage.
I'm
That
leaving.
you're gonna run them. Look,
to do that much.
I ain't gonna lie.
What about the clip? I know y'all probably saw this. It was a long time ago. When Trick Daddy was online and he was talking about a woman. And you gotta be a mad son of a bitch. Be a mad motherfucker, right? To spit on your own phone. This nigga say, I'll spit on you, bitch, and spit on his own phone.
Oh wow! But you see how Trick Daddy look now. So
It's a fact. But still
something
calm
wrong
down though, this Florida.
I know. You see how I'm coming, bro.
Calm down.
Y'all,
Yeah, we know.
you talk,
we know.
hey,
We know.
Florida.
We
It's
know.
always something wild.
We know. I get
Always.
it. I get it. All right, now. I'm like, if you from Chicago. All right, now I'm from both. I ain't gonna let nobody do my damn what.
Look, man, he got that socks hat on.
Yeah.
That boy from the city,
Yeah,
man.
that's
He
a
do all
fact.
that Florida
I
talk.
pay my taxes here. Yeah, you're right. I pay my taxes here.
Yeah.
But I'm still a Florida resident.
I know. You drove that 96 Explorer. You talking about? She from Florida, too. They didn't tell you about that.
She was not from Florida. She from here. You're not putting her on us. That's from the city. She's from the city.
She from Pensacola.
Nope.
Man.
She was from right out west
Yeah.
in L-Town off Madison. She looked like she was from Madison. Madison and Central.
Them flip
Madison and
flops.
Laramie.
Yeah, from the gas station over there on Lemington. What's that one? You know what I'm talking about? Is that the Minuteman? What the fuck is that?
Hey, boy.
So
That's crazy, though. Like, you were 100% right when you say, motherfucker, I'm not going to no Thorntons. I'll run out of gas before I go to Thorntons. Wait, stop.
no, go ahead.
I'll run out of gas before I go to Thorntons. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't like my microphone on all this time. You don't see it? It's going? None? Hey, check.
It's good.
It's good?
I think that's his microphone.
Oh, it was his mic.
Which one?
Oh, there it goes. It's all I'm on. But yeah, I'm with you on that about going to gas stations. Because I will drive around and look for the cheaper gas. But it's 3 gas stations I'm going to. Thorntons? I mean, I said Thorntons.
I never go to Thornton, but it's 3 that I go to.
Yeah,
The first one is Thornton.
Look, it's Shells, BP, and my favorite, because I got a Sam Club card. I'm a Sam Club member, boy. I'm finna go get gold membership in a minute. Keep playing with me. Because I'm starting to really go there more since everything going up.
Yeah.
It's best to go ahead and get it in bulk, bro. I'm telling you.
Well,
Go ahead
since
and
you're
get
talking
your
about Sam's Club and you like them so much, what you think about the Walmarts being ransacked?
I ain't see that. What? I ain't see that,
Oh
man.
man, I gotta find.
I ain't see that, no. What happened to that? Who did that? What happened?
Real quick before we get to that, my official stance is the student was absolutely wrong.
Oh, yeah, I think we all
And
agree on that. Yeah.
The student was absolutely. There's nothing that the student did right in that situation. I think, in the way that she handled it, I think the teacher still restrained herself.
Yeah.
Because looking at the just they're about the same height. Maybe the teacher might have been an inch or two taller,
Oh, but the teacher was, oof.
but that weight difference, Man,
I'm lucky I'm finna get married.
she could have been throwing her all across that room. She could have been, man. There's a difference in somebody fighting to stop the situation and fighting to beat somebody up. She wasn't fighting to beat her up, even though she did throw a few. I saw a few punches, maybe 3-4 punches. There.
Both of them couldn't fight.
But I'm saying, you could tell, or maybe I'm asking you now. Could you tell that she wasn't really trying to throw punches to hurt her?
She couldn't fight. The teacher couldn't fight neither.
That's not what I'm asking you.
I understand what you're saying, but it don't, because when you know someone can fight, you know if they're holding back their punches. So she was steady trying to hit her hard, but she couldn't because she couldn't fight. That's what you're trying to say?
I'm not really thinking about whether she can or can't fight. I'm just thinking like from the way that she was throwing her punches, I don't think she was trying to
Really hurt her like that.
Yeah.
She should have been. But I told people this too, we could get off this. I think that teacher, you know how you be seeing some kids and you be like, damn, I wish I could whoop his little ass.
Man.
I wish I could whoop his little ass. But then the teacher probably said that about that girl, but she couldn't do nothing to her because she's an adult, you got to just take it. But then when that happened, you're like, oh, I got my chance, I can beat her ass now.
Man, I've said that on here before, and you were like, don't get involved in that.
Then what?
When I was like, I've been in situations where I would want to say something to a child because I know they were getting out of line and all that stuff. You said, don't you get involved in that.
No, you shouldn't, because it didn't involve you.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But now if it involves you and you come to the adult, you get all the chances. Now. We call them freebies. Because like, a dude do something, and you're like, no, I'm not for the fight or nothing like that. But then he do something to you, and you're like, I've been wanting to beat his ass anyway, so I'm for to really do something to him.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Okay.
You got anything else you want to add to that?
No. Captain Beauty said the teacher's husband supports her decision to quit substituting. He said we can save them little $75 a day. You know?
That's a fact.
I don't blame him or her at all because these days teachers are parents. Unfortunately.
And don't get paid no money, so they need to be paid more money.
Unfortunately.
You don't think you need to pay more money? You don't?
No. I don't know how many times you go ask.
No. Who said no?
I mean, look, to me, it all boils down. I get it. Like in some areas, teachers are parents, right? Like depending, because a lot of times those kids, that's who they have to look up to is their teacher.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, you still chose that job. Right?
No, but I'm saying paid.
Right, paid. Like,
no, but you said teachers are
you get
parents.
what you negotiate. Did we not yet?
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about it. You're right.
So that's where you want to go, and I get it. Those children, a lot of times, they could be a little tough, right? But I can't give you an extra. The school system is already underfunded. These kids are already getting less, and I can't give. And these kids, their test scores aren't the best. They don't really know much. A lot of them, not saying all, but so I can't give more money to the teachers because, I think again the parents should just be doing better at their jobs, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think I believe you said it as well. The last thing I have to say is I don't think she gets into fights like that with her mother, but I think she's gotten into fights with other people with her mother.
Oh, okay. So her mother was arguing with somebody and she's jumping in, saying things and all that stuff like that. Like her mother's having a confrontation with another adult and she's getting in grown folks' business saying something too, instead of her mother telling her to shut the fuck up. I got this. Oh, okay.
Like how many ways?
What kind of ratchetness is this,
bro?
What city is this? See,
what's that?
I want to shit on Chicago. What city is this?
What city was that?
What's in North Carolina?
Was it?
No, I know the
wherever it was hot because she didn't have no drawers.
JJ said she had thongs on.
Okay.
But yeah, man. As far as the Walmart getting ransacked.
Yeah. Which one? Which one was this?
I didn't get to check it out.
So we through with the teacher conversation with the girl.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. I don't have. Teacher was
the Walmarts are closing down. A lot of the neighborhood ones.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
for
'cause
sure on 47th, and if y'all outside 47th, Cottage Grove. I know, and then there's some more throughout. You know,
The one in Cicero, they fighting for to keep that one though. They were trying to close that one that time.
and they should keep it open because it has traffic. It has people going there.
Yeah, they trying to keep that one.
But what's the results of the traffic though? That's my question, because I've seen people, just by posting something online, you're an influencer, right? Mm-hmm. I've seen people post videos talk about, oh, you want to charge me this much for this? All right, well, watch me. Let's just say you want to charge me $60 for this. Watch me scan it as a Snickers.
Right.
And they put it on film.
They put it on film,
And then
and they're teaching other people to do it. They literally say the
they
words.
say stop snitching. Then they say stop snitching afterwards, right?
Look, man, self-snitching is that's what people doing these days. I mean, look, I think Walmart has you get what you pay for, right?
Say ignorant. Talk about it was hot. That's why she having no job.
But at Walmart, I look at Walmart. I put them in the same category as the
Thorntons.
Thorntons, your Popeyes, your Food for Less, your Ultra Foods,
Papa those.
That's the step up. So that's gonna give you the Walmart, the neighborhood Walmart, right? That's Papa Do's. But, I look at those like that. Just you get kind of what you pay for. You're gonna have those type of interactions with people. You better go to Walmart. You want to go to Walmart?
Hey,
go early. Go
hey.
before 10 a.m.
But you said how productive and stuff is the Walmarts and stuff. That's what you said. But this what happens when you want to go to AI. It's gonna be a lot of things though with AI come.
Well, Walmart's been like that in general though.
Because they got the self checkout. If you got with
I'm
regular
just saying
people,
ratchet.
oh yeah,
Ratchet
yeah.
behavior. I used to work at the Super Kmart in Broadview. It was ratchet behavior.
Yeah, you're right.
It was definitely ratchet behavior. They
That's
selling TVs.
That's what Little Caesars took off at.
Absolutely. I used to free.
See, you're the reason why they closed.
I probably am.
You're the reason why they closed.
Probably am.
You're the reason why they closed.
Somebody was giving it to me for free. I wasn't,
Both
I
of
wasn't
y'all-
back there making my own pizza.
Both of y'all was the reason why they closed. Huh?
No, I'm not both of y'all. I'm just the consumer.
You both of y'all.
I'm not the both of y'all. I wasn't back there with the sauce. You know what I mean? I'm just
Say this free, put some extra sauce and meat on that shit.
yeah. So I was like,
They will cost them make that butter crust too, man.
Yeah, but again, it's about the think about Target. Most Targets will never have these problems. But people look at Target being a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
So when you look at right? Think of North Riverside Mall.
You have a point.
Oh boy, I'm going there. Only reason I'm going there is because they lids. They lids got a great selection. Like every other lids I go to, it don't never have as much as the lids in North Riverside. And guess what I gotta do?
Are you willing to risk it for that lids to go in North Riverside Mall?
What happened with this? What this was?
This is a.
Put that link in there if you can.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, this is Chicago.
Yeah, this was Chicago.
This
Yeah,
is
bleep that off, man. Bleep that off. We don't need. I'm just. But what happened? What was happening? What happened? I don't know what happened.
It's just. Well, from what I understand of the. From what I understand of the situation, Eden's Edimon?
What's up,
Hey.
Edens?
Hey,
What's going on? How you doing? What's up? From what I understand, this is a result of the Walmart's closing in Chicago.
So you're gonna tear them up?
oh, this the reason why they closing? Because of stuff like that.
No, the way I understand it, people looted it because they're closing. So before they can pack up all their stuff and ship it out to other places,
Yeah.
we gonna take what we can.
So it's just a little. No, I got a little bit of common sense. I don't got that much. I got a little bit. So you're mad they're closing the Walmarts, right? So you're gonna go in there and loot it. Now y'all gonna stay because we looted it, right? Is that what this is? Is that what we talking about? Is that what they were doing? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I ain't got no common sense.
No, your common sense sounds about right.
Oh, okay.
Logic. You made some logic points.
I just want to know. I'm not the,
Talking
I'm not
about
the.
woman cries while doctor. What Walmart was this, bro?
I would.
That don't look like no Walmart.
It do. It look like Walmart.
That's a.
The shells do. Yeah.
The shells
you
before looked like a Walmart, but that don't look like the Walmart right there.
You didn't see this part right here because you was looking.
I'm thinking, now that just look like a Walmart. But I'm talking about they might have edited it and tried to put some more sauce on it. Because that I ain't never seen no owl like that really.
At Walmart?
Card owl? It's cards. Nobody took any cards. You notice that?
That bitch was touched.
Nobody cares about cards.
Look, the hair owl. Oh, look, they just took whatever little hair they got at Walmart. Girl, I can use that ponytail.
Yeah, man.
And how many people was this and who instructed this though? And where was the
People
police?
said, "Hey, Spaces, how's it going?" So they know you.
What's going on, Edens? You got to remind me. You
It's
gotta
probably
remind
from
me.
the,
It might be a bag chaser. Yeah.
I might be from OnlyFans.
No.
Hey, boy, you did say you had feet pics out there. You had feet pics out there. Yeah, you told us you had feet pics. Hey, boy, your OnlyFans was crazy.
You can't know.
OnlyFans was crazy. You say, boy, you had feet pics. Edith, you bought some of Space's feet pics? Hey, Edith, don't tell me you bought some of Space's feet pics.
Oh, man.
Okay. So you ain't. So Antron taught you better than be buying feet pics. I know you ain't bought no feet pics. My bad, Edith. I don't mean to say that. I'm sorry. Just joking, dog. Hey, how you doing, Edith?
OnlyFans going crazy.
Hey, boy. Because you know he got an OnlyFans. Alex, I'm going to ask you about that, Edith. Tell him, man. I'm gonna tell Antron to get on them. Need to get off OnlyFans, bro.
So what do you guys think about the whole? That goes along with everything else we've been talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you?
Because do you think that was teenagers mostly or adults?
Everybody.
Adults.
That's probably adults.
Edith said, "No hablo inglés."
But yeah, that goes along to like home training, motherfuckers having morals. You just not out here following a crowd. You just on your own purpose but to just to be doing something like that ain't nowhere in the hell. No. If somebody even come to you with that, you're like, what? Like, why would you hang with people like that?
Yep. Real quick, we have 8 amazing people in the stream right now. Can y'all just hit the like button for us, please? Please
let me hit that 8
get
times. That's all.
get that all the way up to 23. I'm just kidding.
We thank y'all. We appreciate all 8 of y'all, man.
All right, but I'm genuinely curious. I'm genuinely curious to see how this stuff is orchestrated. Like what communication happens to where all of these people know? Like, what communication happened so all of the kids downtown or the people that went downtown this past weekend knew to go down there? Mm-hmm. Like, I think it was in California when they ransacked the Louis Vuitton store. I think it was a Louis Vuitton store. Like, what communication happened for all of y'all to know? I don't know. It's just crazy. But that's exactly what I was saying. Like, what about the traffic? Because okay, cool. You get a lot of foot traffic, which is a great thing for any company. Yeah. But if people aren't scanning things, if people aren't scanning stuff and aren't scanning it to and paying the proper price for it, they're only gonna do so much. And now people did Walmart. They closed 4 stores, and this happened to this looting happened to this Walmart. Now people that are in those close areas are going to have to travel even further.
But that doesn't look like the Walmart, because all the Walmarts that are closing are neighborhood Walmarts.
There's the little ones. They're the little ones. Like,
that's not the Walmart.
That's like a big Walmart.
Yeah, that's not the Walmart on 47.
Because they got a full grocery store.
So I'm again, like I said, which Walmart is this? Because I think it is important that they do put out. If they're gonna put out, you got to put out accurate information. It's not the first Walmart that's been ransacked within the country, so we do got to put out the accurate information.
But and also too, people that probably did that don't have nothing going on.
Because it looks bad. You can't say just Chicago looting at the Walmart in Chicago and not say which one it was.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're trying to play on what happened downtown.
Yeah.
So, again, that didn't happen to any of the neighborhood Walmart, so I don't see why you would just pick a random Walmart to go do it at.
Yeah, and then that could have been in motherfucking Texas. That could have been in Louisiana. That could have been anywhere. That could have been in New York. That could have been anywhere if you ain't give a specific location and say exactly this is the Walmart. No, we don't know if that happened at
It's like, look at these guys again. Look at these people.
It's the same people that were downtown. They went to Walmart afterwards.
Again, trying to make us look bad all over the place. Could I see it happening? Sure. I mean, I was out. Anyway.
But then again, too, when I look at stuff like that, I look at it like when you got something going on and you got something going for your life, you're not doing no dumb shit like that. Yeah. That's all people who don't have nothing going on, who have a lot of time on their hands, who just be on social media looking for something to do. You ain't got no motherfucking job. You need to go out and get you a job and you start getting some money.
So then was Brandon Johnson, was he right then?
And to a certain extent, yes. Especially if they're adults. If they're adults, yes, he's 100% right. They need jobs. But it's, bro, we keep saying it like it's not no jobs around here.
That's what I was going to say.
It's plenty of jobs around here. People are hiring left and right. So you can't say that.
There's a difference, though, right? For a teenager to get a job and then the adults to get a job. If the teens aren't getting a job, a lot of times the teens can't have jobs because you got the adults walking the jobs that the teens would normally work, right? So, if back in the day, McDonald's and those fast food restaurants and
straight teenagers,
right? But if you got, let's keep it a bean. If you got a lot of immigrants willing to work that job and they can work that for 8 hours or however many hours, that's going to take away jobs within your community. And I'm not, again, it's not blaming immigrants, it's not blaming anybody, but this is
just the reality. It's the reality of the situation.
That people are trying to find a place to, release frustration.
But you say that, but we still see a lot of hiring signs.
For what team, though?
What you mean?
And we're talking about the people that's going
downtown. I thought you should make it for a minute. You said, what team?
No. I ain't from the island. But if we got for hiring signs, what teenager is going to be able to get that?
Okay.
Right? So you're only relegated to things such as the Foot Lockers and stuff like that. But outside of that, where else can you really work?
Yeah. Grocery stores, Foot Lockers, shoe stores,
and the Walmarts is gone.
Walmart's finna go.
You gotta be 18 to work at Walmart.
Yeah. That's a lot of jobs, by the way. Between those 4 Walmarts closing, that's a lot of jobs.
So what? 500-600 employees. So that's 500-600 more people that's gonna go downtown and test some shit out.
So that's.
But is that still an excuse though?
Oh, I don't make excuses. I'm just saying that.
Cause even though if you not working those jobs, you should be finding some job to work at, right?
As a teenager?
As an adult, period, you want some money, so you got to go work. Everybody has to work. So it's like we're making, not saying we are, but as a whole, everybody in the world, making excuses talking about, they need jobs, but it's a lot of jobs out here. You're just not willing to work them. You think your pride is getting in the way, talking about I don't want that job.
Well, I mean, I'm just using, if this is where teens stand up downtown Chicago, and the excuse was that we don't have anything for them to do. Okay. What are we putting in? Because we got to have these solution based. What are we putting into the community to
let them work and to let them have something to do
something else? Okay, well, Walmart's pulling out. Okay, what else are we investing? Because before Walmart, it was Target. Target was pulling out. There was one on 115th, I think, and off Marshfield or something like that. You had a Target. I mean, you had Targets pull out in the community, and so now that you have these Walmarts pulling out in the community, what else are we, putting in or investing? We're investing in so many other people. We're investing in wars across the pond. We're investing in other groups of people, immigrant groups, but not investing in the people that's here.
Yeah. I would like to know the list of all the Walmarts that they're closing to, because I guarantee you it ain't none of these suburbs like that.
Well, not only are they closing Walmarts, they're closing Burger Kings. Then you post something.
Did I?
Burger King's been need to go. It don't be
No,
nobody.
I'm just saying. I'm saying more so from a job aspect. Yeah,
Okay,
there's
okay,
nobody,
job, yeah.
You know, probably going to Burger King like that,
Yeah.
but I mean that's more jobs
Yeah,
that teenagers could possibly work.
yeah. Okay, I'll get you on that one. Okay.
Yeah.
But I just would want to know the list of all the
yeah, I
Walmarts
did.
that closing. You got it?
No, this I did post about the Burger King.
Oh, but I would like to know all the things that they're closing. I would like to know like where are they? Because guarantee you they're not like in the far suburbs where it's mostly like predominantly white. They're not closing those, or they're not closing the Walmarts in predominantly white neighborhoods because those are always flooded with people.
Eden Zederman said, "You just are funny. Just stopping by. Have a good one. Gang over and out." All right, Eden, thanks for stopping by, man.
right, Eden.
Catch you in the Discord.
You should say the streets.
I was about to say the stream.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, well, he didn't want to say gang, but the streets,
No,
the street streams.
but no, it's. I don't think there isn't already options available to keep people occupied. I think people just aren't engaging in those options, right? For instance, there's no reason for an adult to have the time to go, let's just say downtown and loot like what this group of people did. There's no reason for an adult to loot a Walmart and still have a job, right? I think there's still options. People just don't partake in them. Join a bowling league. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a random example that popped in my head, but it's an example. That's something to do. You know what I'm saying? Go skating. Skating is actually really fun, right? You know what I'm saying? Go to the movies. There's all kinds of options for people to do.
Everything that you said though requires money.
But and now the thing is, this costs the amount of money it took for you to get downtown.
Bowling? What? I'm finna play a game?
How much is bowling?
Bro, bowling is
It's
high
expensive.
as hell.
Yes, it
No,
is.
bro, what?
Shoe rental with the game is go by the hour. If you go by, it depends on if you're going by the hour or by the game. It's like $20-$30 a game plus shoe rental.
Bro,
So you go to bowling to play one game. You're gonna play a few games of bowling, and you're not gonna go by yourself.
go with a group. Like
All I'm saying is it costs money. This is what I'm saying. Versus, I mean, what's something that they can put into effect that's really free or a little cost? You know what I'm saying? It's not as expensive, right? Everybody, where's the bowling alleys? Nearest bowling alleys in the hood.
Amen.
Okay, so if there
Why?
isn't any, so where are you gonna go?
go where there are bowling alleys, where the civilized people are.
I mean, I'm not the moral police here because I'm just saying, but because you asked why, but you know, because I mean that's assuming that everybody in the hood aren't civilized, and I don't think that's fair.
No, there's no generalizations, no absolutes. Shout out to Will.
But okay, but you said why? Because I think bowling alleys, just like skating rinks, become somewhat of a liability. That's why they close a lot of them down. If you fall or get hurt, then that place is gonna have to pay for it, insurance wise.
Okay, to that degree, I thought you were talking about like if somebody were to start fighting or something. I'm like, how is that the facility's fault?
But they can make it a facility fault too. They do that all the time for nightclubs. This is a key reason why a lot of clubs close down. It's the shooting outside the club. It's not the shooting in the club.
They always say that's this club they shoot at.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. That was outside.
That was
Them niggas-
outside the
Them
club.
motherfuckers outside the club doing it. They weren't doing that inside here. And then again, on Space's point, I think on all our points, I think it's a moral and a teaching thing. Like, because we can say we can have all the jobs in the world, we have all the things in the world for people to do. If your mind ain't right, you still ain't gonna do those things. You still gonna go down there and do the same thing you did.
That's really what I was getting at. Yeah.
That's just plain and simple. Like it's about a teaching thing. It's about us having morals about ourselves. Like you always say, it's not about what your skin and that look like. It's a class issue. Because when you got some class or something about yourself, when you got some dignity about yourself, some pride, some motherfucking morals, you're not doing all that dumb shit. It's just point blank. It's just point blank. It is what it
You
is.
can have all the morals in the world until it's time to pay bills and stuff. Like, you know, like, yeah, I got all these morals, but then, you know, time to pay these bills. What you gonna do? And I'm not saying what they're doing was to pay bills.
Yeah.
But again, these were a lot of them were children on the younger age of being adults, right?
Young adults,
right?
Uh-huh.
So, again, what if we're talking about Brandon Johnson's response is what, you know, we need more economic push within these communities, then where are they at? And there isn't. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. Like, there isn't. And when it does become more economics push within the communities, then somehow they magically gentrify that neighborhood and push people out.
Man, you touched on some good points in there that I wanted to go. It goes down a rabbit hole, but
let's go.
So, actually, I'll make note of that so we can talk about it more later. But generally speaking, I applied this. The same concept applies to passport bros, right? Mm-hmm. Regardless of where you go, you're bringing you with you, right? So, and the same with passport bros. They call the women now passport thoughts.
Hoes.
Yeah, because women are starting to do the same thing.
But why are they hoes though?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Like, bro, why you can't just say passport women or passport girls?
That in itself is a rabbit hole too, but because a lot of times they just going out there to get slutted out, as people say. But but regardless of wherever you go, you're bringing you with you, and the common denominator in all these scenarios that we brought up is the behavior of the people that go there, right? The bowling alley, the skating rink, the club, like this. You to your example. These places close down because they have so many issues with what happens with the people inside. Not solely because, but one of the reasons they close down is because they have so many issues that happen with the people that go there. Well, regardless of if you go to a Walmart in the city or outside of the city, you bring you with you.
It's a class issue. It's a class or moral issue. I'm with Jay every day on that. Like, it ain't about. Because I know you said this plenty of times every day about it's a class thing. It's classism. It's like, forget the race, forget the color. It's if you got some class about yourself, you're not doing all this dumb, goofy shit. It's just plain and simple. When you start getting a little bit of money and you start running into different people telling you different things, you looking at people be different ways and you can still do this, you can still do that, it's about a class thing. So you keep wanting to be ratchet, you keep wanting to be in the hood, you keep wanting to do all that, and you're going to get the same results. It's going to be the same results no matter how in the hood, no matter how much things you have for them to do. Motherfuckers just going to act ignorant. It's, if it's in you, it's in you. You ain't trying to get it up out you. You ain't trying to do nothing different. So I got to go back on with Jay every day when he, like, this happened a long time ago. Go look at some old episodes when Jerry Day always talk about the class thing. It's class.
But yeah. I mean, look, I think it's a litany of things. I don't think it's just one thing.
Yeah. It is. It's when you break it down, it is a litany of things. It's just not. We're not gonna just fix this just by one. We put a bunch of jobs and give them something to do. It's gonna stop. No, it's about a lot of things about teaching too as well.
Because to me, that's one thing that I realized that never happens. It is a bunch of jobs. Like, nobody ever was like, let's go ahead and put a whole bunch of jobs within this community. Let's do that. Right? Like, I never really see that happen. So,
but yeah, I 100% agree that it's I like to specify what class is, and there's two classifications that class fall in for me. It's financial class and behavior class. Sometimes they are one and the same. They coincide, and sometimes they're separate. Varies with the person, varies with the people that you're talking about. But in this case, what I'm talking about with this situation is behavior class. I guess a little bit of financial class too, because we're talking about the amount of money it takes to do certain things. But I don't know, man. I just think, like I said, behavior class, passport bros. No matter if you're here in the States or you go everywhere, your behavior follows you.
Yeah, if you're a lame over there, if you're a lame here, you're gonna be a lame over there.
For sure.
It don't matter. I'm not calling y'all that, but I'm just saying, giving y'all I think he says, I don't need dude to come back for me, boy. He was gonna whip my ass.
Who?
You remember when the first time he said dude in the red? You remember on the way to the crib, he gave us, after we got those screaming, he had wrote his
Oh, when he commented.
yeah, he said, boy, dude in the red, what the fuck are you talking about? My bad, bro. When I said, ain't that what the famous saying?
Yeah, that's what they
said
say.
what I said. That's what they say, right?
That's what they say. Hey, so let's move on to this last. I'm not sure if you guys are aware.
Go ahead and drop it in the link.
We're gonna drop it in the link. It was a documentary about King Von, right? And this is by, I think it was the guy. He's a YouTuber. It's called was it King Von Serial Killer or something like that? Like
The documentary of
was King Von a serial killer? It was basically a documentary of him, and it was by a guy named Trap Lore, right? Trap Lore Boss or something like that. You can look it up. I mean, it's getting millions of views.
Yeah.
And it's about 3 hours long, so you probably want to break it up over a matter of days or something. But I thought the documentary was pretty good.
It was wild.
I thought he did good as far as going through King Von, his tweets, everything about him.
It was called King Von Rap's First Serial Killer. That's what it was called.
Okay.
I was just trying to say that before we keep continuing. Go ahead.
Yeah, King Von Rap's First Serial Killer, right? And that's by Trap Lore Ross. And again, I just thought he did good as far as breaking down certain videos that he's seen online. He was breaking down as far as how basically King Von himself was this self-proclaimed serial killer. He would always eat cereal, which was interesting.
Every time you do an interview?
Right, every time he would, do an interview, he would go back and forth with others online as far as opposing gangs. He would go back and forth with them. They talk body count and things of that nature. And it's interesting, like, that they had all these other guys around them, O Block, all these other guys around them that they were really putting in, what they would call work. They were some steppers, as they say these days. So
They was out going doing drills and stuff.
They were out drilling each other. Pause. But what did you guys think about the documentary? I thought it was just interesting, and not only that, King Von isn't the only quote unquote serial killer within the city. That he's just one of many. He just happened to have been the rapper, gangster turned rapper, and it always would boggle me that the police would always drop the ball on the case. If you got so many killers and everybody knows if everybody knows that this guy has this many bodies and this guy has that many bodies, but you as the police can't convict anybody, you damn near sound complicit, right? It's like that John Wayne Gacy. If you guys are familiar with the serial killer clown from the 70s and 80s, right? John Wayne Gacy killed something like 36 people. And the police would call so many times, hey, dude, it was house meal crazy as hell. Just certain things that, or even the Jeffrey Dahmer, where the little Cambodian boy got away, and they gave him back to Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. It's like, how are y'all are y'all complicit in this? What are y'all doing? Is this bad police work, or y'all just, don't want no parts, or whatever it is? Like, I don't understand. And something like this would fuel the idea that Chicago is such a bad place. Something, King Von and the 051 Mellies and the, T-Roys and all these guys. Something like this continues to fuel that Chicago is such a war zone. This is, quote unquote, Chirac. So what do y'all think?
Well, so the only thing, I don't disagree with your sentiment. I think Trap Lore Ross was specifying King Von being Rap's first serial killer, which I don't know that one way or the other. I don't know a whole lot about the behind the scenes actions of people outside of the music they put out and the information that they put out to the world that just happens to come across my plate or my feed, my algorithm. But as far as the documentary, I was just mind blown the entire time. I kind of did myself a disservice by trying to watch the whole thing in one sitting. So I kind of started getting a little, not distracted, but a little antsy because I was watching it on TV. Because I tried to watch it at work, but then I realized that there's a lot of stuff that you need to see on the screen. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait till I get home. But just hearing all of that stuff is just absolutely mind blowing. And then hearing how Trap Lord Ross was connecting the dots, it reminded me of like when you watch a police movie and they have evidence wall, and then they have a picture of this person, a picture of this location, and all this stuff, and there's string connecting all the things together. I'm like,
well, I wonder what that's really called. What's they call it?
But it was like, man, it's just wow. Just mind blown. For real. That's really all I could think of. It was very informative, very, very, very well researched. Another thing I will say is it reminded me of the conversation we had about should a rapper's lyrics be used against them in court? I mean, if they're confessing to it, why not?
That's true.
I mean, in this sense, it wasn't even necessarily his lyrics. Like, you could just look at his Twitter account. Like, he was basically saying, because it was a lot of time before he became a rapper. So this is, he didn't become a rapper until damn near 2018. Trap Lord started at 2012, 2011. Yeah. So it was a build-up until you got to that. By the time he became the actual rapper, he basically slowed down, or at least stopped, right? Maybe he called some shots or whatever, to the point. But I think the police really wanted to do some work. If it's 7 to 12 bodies, I'm pretty sure you could have caught him on one of them, and not the one that he got, he was dismissed from.
Yeah, the documentary, cause like if you listen to some type of rapper, you you do your YouTubes, he put a lot of that stuff together from previous YouTubes or whatever you saw, cause Academic's been talking about this for a while. Mm-hmm. Academic's been talking about the Chicago rap scene and who killing who into it with who. He don't even stay here. He knew all that shit. And
That's the thing. That's the thing on Reddit. You go to Reddit, it's a whole subreddit dedicated to that.
So that
who's killing who?
Yeah.
Who killed what?
So for me watching it, and I listened to it all yesterday, it got me all the way from here to goddamn it, Indianapolis, driving. It still was like 15 more minutes to go. That's how long it was. And I just sit there and listen, and it just, because I've seen bits and pieces from a lot of things. I've heard a lot of things about King Von. Like, we don't know him personally or anything like that, but we've kind of seen the come up of the rapper or anything like that with Dirk and all the whole O-Block crew, just like anybody else. We've seen all these YouTube things. And so from the documentary, it pieced a lot of stuff together of a timeline of him killing him and how O-Block became O-Block, how this kid named Tuka, they started smoking Tuka, how this became this, and them started being the first people to disrespect people that they killed and just study like disrespect the families and disrespect their name because they killed them. And then, it's bits and pieces where he said if you ain't have nothing, if you didn't kill this person or if you didn't have anything to do with that body, you can't be talking about you smoking that if you ain't had nothing to do with that. And it's just a lot of things that you're looking at like, damn, wow. And these motherfuckers 15, 16, 17 years old when they were doing these things.
Mm. He was younger than that.
No, I don't know when he first said he had. I don't remember how old he said when he first said he had.
I don't think he was younger than that. I think it happened. So he started
at
2012, right? That's when they say you kind of started in 2012. So he was killed in 2020. So.
Because then they say, he said in the thing, I think, because they had an interview with him, what turned King Von into what King Von was was the killing of White, wasn't it? Was it that was his name? White?
White, yeah.
Yeah, I think White. And then what turned him up another level when they had killed T-Roy while he was in jail.
But see, it's also about, like we were just talking in the prelude, right? We were talking about our, people being cut from that cloth.
Yeah, we was.
His daddy was
he's
like
about
that,
that. Yeah,
right?
like
so
that,
his daddy got killed by a sniper.
Yeah.
Going to skate.
Yeah.
Right? We talk about going skating and then shooting people, right? So think about that. Like apparently, so maybe there's just something within his blood. You don't know what his father was into.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes
something just passed along, like a just demon, just passed along.
Yeah, like sometimes it's just like we were talking about earlier too when we were off camera too. Like I was saying, like I have uncles and cousins. I don't know what they into. I don't know if they got I don't know. But I'm saying I know they part of the street culture. I know that's what they do. That's just their thing. That's just who they are. But when it got kind of to me, is where it kind of stopped. Because my little brother under me and my other cousin under me, we don't do none of that. We go to work. We take care of families. Not saying that my uncles them don't take care of their families and do all their things. But like I always said, and I said from previous podcasts, I have 2 to 3 uncles and a cousin that has did total, probably if you put all their bills together, it's like 30 to 40 years in jail. So that's long as I've been alive. So they did enough time for all of us.
Yeah.
So I ain't got to even go through that. If I want to know how jail is, I go ask one of them jail stories. Which I don't want to know how jail is anyway because I don't plan on going. I'm not going. And that's why, like we said, it's sometimes it's innate in your blood, but it can stop with a certain person if you wanted to. Maybe it was in your blood, but maybe like, I don't want to do that. And just to saying like the doc or whatever, like you say, we were talking about earlier how sometimes it's in your blood and that's just who his family was. His family was just a bunch of steppers. And he just followed right in the footsteps and like all the other kids are just following their footsteps saying, oh, this what I got to be. Because this what my uncle be when it's not. You don't have to be like that. You still choose your own path and he still chose that path. But like Spacer said and like you said, it was just mind-blowing to see all of that stuff in that documentary and you just been like it's just really like you was just like the average just thinking like wow, all this stuff really happened. And then when you start seeing the news clippings from it and you hearing about it and you seeing how he got all this information, because he had to be doing that for a while. He had to be doing that for a couple years to gather all that information and to put that together because it was well put together. Huh?
At least from the time that he
had passed away.
Had passed away. So.
Yeah. So yeah, he really did his thing on that. He did a great job on the documentary.
I think it's worth the 500,000 views that because people are.
He should have sold that to a network almost. That should be on TV.
Shit, he probably wouldn't even got as much though. As long as the views is going up, he gonna keep in his ring, right? So we, the whole 3 followers that we got, or people watching, we probably go watch it, right? So that's 3 more on top of the 4-5 million that is already right? So you're gonna get some money off of it.
Yeah, but he did a great job in the doc, and it was just a greatly written, and it was like the soft-spoken assassin. That's what he called him.
Yeah, soft-spoken assassin.
Soft-spoken assassin.
Yeah.
Because when you see him in interviews, you would never think that he did any of that stuff.
No, he has a likable personality about him. Yeah. But it's also kind of like you can kind of tell in his eyes. It's almost kind of like soulless. He kind of soulless as far as like, hey, you get on the wrong side of him.
Yeah, because I one of his last interviews, he did it with $1 Million for Game. One of his interviews, and he was telling Gillian Wallow how when he was in jail, he had a cellmate where he was an older gentleman, and he said he used to be looking out for him. Like, man, did you take your medicine today? Oh, man, granddad, what you doing? Come take your medicine or whatever like that. Oh, he was like, he was just to sometimes forget and run out to go chow. Like, oh, shit, my celly. So he had to go get the dude, put him in a wheelchair, and help him go to this thing. And it's like, when you hear stuff about that, like, he did all this stuff? Which a lot of them do be like that. They do be polite, but then it's like when they get part of that action, it's go time. And they ain't trying to hear all that no more.
But they said that his father was in the life too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Silk, right? His father was in the life, and then King Von gets into the life.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, man, because it sounds like Brendan Johnson. It sounds like to that degree from where King Von is from to that whole area, Brandon Johnson is right. They didn't have anything to do. There's nothing for them to do to entertain themselves so that they can be distracted from doing this stuff.
You know, oddly enough, the game war that O Block has with that the Gyro City STLEBT crew.
You said EBT?
Yeah, that's what they call it. It's for Eberhard.
What? I thought that was the food stuff, bro?
Oh no.
No, because you said EBT. I didn't know that was a real game. I'm not trying to make no joke. I'm dead serious. I did not know EBT was like a real click game.
Yeah, it's STL. It's short for Eberhard.
Okay.
So they're street over there. But a lot of them all come from the same building. A lot of these people are cousins. You know, their parents were cousins and stuff, or are cousins. And so it's really like a family beef.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's unfortunate that it goes down that way. And, you know, eventually you stay right here and the dividing part is 63rd or the dividing part is King Drive, and you got to choose a side.
And that's one of the most mind-blowing things for me with this, because kudos to what's my guy's name again?
Trap Lord?
Trap Lord Ross. I want to call him Trap Lord Trevor for some reason. Trap Lord Ross. One of the things he did with the visuals in the video was map out
that's pretty cool.
the area. Instead, this little area belonged to these people. This area belonged to these people.
Oh, see, I ain't never see that.
And you realize that O Block was just so, you know, what they call O Block is such a small area compared to that the area they were beefing with.
Right.
You hear so many, probably maybe 6 or 7 blocks compared to the O Block. It's like 2 blocks, you know, two blocks.
Yeah, so seeing that, it's like, man, y'all are like literally 1 mile.
No less than a mile.
The whole area.
Less than a mile.
Yeah. Both areas.
So square foot. Okay.
Yeah, if you look, when you see the video, you'll see what I'm saying. Like the way he made it, I'll actually try to find it.
Both areas combined. Yeah, it's a.
Y'all are 1 mile, like literally around the corner, from each other. And it's like, how is
you literally across the street? You go across the street, that's their territory over there. And it's a restaurant. I forget, is it called Sonny's or something? But you go, it's on 60, I think it's on 64th. But it's on that side. It's on the STL side. So, but a lot of those O Block dudes, they go there to get something to eat. You know, there's a lot of shootings that happen right there.
Yes.
But that's crazy that you can't go in stores. A lot of them always got what they call it, get caught lacking, going to the store, just going to get some milk, some chips, or going to get you, like you say, something to eat or something like that. Not thinking, like you just, man, I'm hungry. Not gonna give me something to eat. Not even thinking like, oh, we still into it. Why am I doing over here? But you're just doing that, and then that's why your last breath you've been taking out.
But then also, it's not even just that. It's also you go into not necessarily their hood. A lot of those guys get caught outside of their hood, right? So not the opposing people, but say for instance you're cool with another. Your ops is cool with another faction, right? So you in their hood doing something, you think it's kind of cool or whatever.
And they call the ops that you into it. Like, hey man, they over here right now.
Yeah, so
what y'all want to do?
They drop location or whatever, right? So that's gonna get them points.
Bunch of house parties they
house parties
ran down up on. It's just like.
So
you
have these people, what they call the serial killers, and that's what I like to focus on, is that you have them throughout Chicago.
Yeah.
King Von isn't the only one.
Yeah.
You try to make it say but King Von isn't the only one. And I think they're almost like Manchurian candidates, where they're just released back out to cause destruction into the streets, to wreak havoc amongst anybody that's in their way. It's not, they have a main target, which are their ops or whatever, but it wreaks havoc not just on, a human killing another human, but also, think about the economic situation.
Innocent bystanders.
Innocent bystanders, but also economic. Who else? Would you decide that you're going to buy a house over there in Woodlawn or something?
No.
Right? I don't give a fuck how cheap this shit is.
No, I don't want
$50,000, $60,000. Are you gonna go out there and buy something like that? When you know that they're out there shooting, are you willing to move your family? Are you willing to invest and put your business over there?
Right.
Yeah. Right? So.
Oh, I didn't see that. It's I didn't see that EBT right there.
So this is the picture I was talking about. Like they're
comparable. Like this is
look
huge.
at that.
Yeah, it is. But it's just, and that's exactly what grows down and what
that's considered Jarrow City. So.
And that's just, but that's not only in Chicago. That's all across the world though.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. I'm the United States. I ain't gonna say across the world because I don't know what happens across overseas or anything like that. But that's the same thing that kind of happened in Florida and Miami with Carroll City and Opelika, Little Haiti. That's the same thing where it's blocks of things where we grew up at out west, what they do in California where I couldn't have this on. Not for sure. If I ain't no crib for real, I'm not gonna be wearing it because I don't know where I'm at. So I wouldn't wear this. I wear like some neutral shit. Right. I wouldn't have none of this on what I got on right now. But that's just what happens in the coming up in the hoods of America, man.
Yeah. And again, what they all have in common though is that they all in dire economic situations.
Yep, that's true too.
Just looking at this, man, it's like they're
yeah.
And then, and the crazy thing is just that's just the set they're into it right there with, and that's where it was
you can probably put
magnified.
When we
you probably put
when I
it
did
still
the
up.
Yeah, we're gonna put that right there. We're gonna put that up here. What we're really looking at.
And that's where it's magnified them versus the EBT, but they're into it with other factions around them. It's just not the only one.
So the Black Disciples was into it with a lot of people.
Well, that faction. Because they
block them.
Yeah,
they
block
was
them.
into it with a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
It's definitely, like I said, interesting watch. It's interesting the way the city really handles and fumbles the ball as far as convicting people on what they need to be doing your job for. We can't sit up here and complain about it, and then, okay, when we did have a lot of police, the fuck were y'all doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all doing? My man's literally giving y'all the alley-oop, like, I shot such and such 9 times. I was right there on 63rd and Eberhard. Like, bro, you're not going to...
At least try to go look.
Right.
Yeah. But everybody's dropping the ball everywhere with this.
It sounds strategic to me. If everybody's dropping the ball, nobody can catch this ball.
Yeah, everybody's dropping the ball when it comes to stuff like this.
You go do some shit like that at Oak Park.
Oh, for sure. You're going to jail. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You go do that in Oak Brook.
You going to jail.
You go do out. You can do that in Bolingbrook if you want to.
You going to jail. They ain't playing that. Romeoville.
Real detectives doing real detective work. A lot of this shit is it's designed. All this is by design to just keep people in fear.
Yeah.
So
I don't know because in the video in the documentary they said the police officers they would go to try to do what police do in those situations, but then they faced so much backlash from the people around them that it made it more difficult for them to do their job. They were scared for their lives to go in there. Like I don't know.
I mean, so your job is to stop criminals or whatever it is, and you're telling me the criminals got y'all scared. So you're supposed to be combating the criminals, and they got y'all scared. And then how about we not hire you at all?
But then they got I also think about it too, like in so many people's minds, the police are the bad guys. So anybody that knows any information about what's going on, they'll tell the cops anyway. So that they end up with so many situations where it just leads to nowhere because nobody that was a witness in the situation wanted to give the police information.
Because they end up dead.
Come on. Oh,
they literally said that one of the witnesses.
Yes, they did. They listen.
Only one though. There's
a
only
lot
one
of witnesses come up missing.
Bro, you showed us a picture, right? You hit the picture. It was about 30 people. How many people was in the picture? I don't know, maybe 7 people, right? Then you send that?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it.
It was something like 30 people that they had bodies for. You mean to tell me none of these niggas is going to jail for that? That's dropping the ball.
I'm not disagreeing.
That's literally dropping the ball. Like, come on. I guarantee you, if you were to go do some shit, it's camera for. See, the cameras only work when they need the shit to work. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, like when they don't need it to work, when you're not part of the agenda, you know what I mean, and pushing the agenda, shit don't work.
Oh no,
it's like being at work. You hit some shit.
I was just gonna say that shit.
You know what I mean?
Somebody
hit your shit. Hey, man, the camera's gonna work out here in a lot.
But let me would have hit something.
Yep, you fuck up that shit. Hey, man, we got you. We got you right there on the camera.
That's a fact. You ain't lying.
And I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying I know that there's more than one witness in these situations, and I do know that there's a whole lot of police officers that complain about not being able to solve cases because nobody talks.
People have been put in jail for way less, with zero witnesses. With zero.
Bro, what I want to know is...
So this happens everywhere. All you cops are like that? Every single one of y'all. Like everywhere. Like just not O Block, just not the precinct around there. Oh, that shit happens out west. Oh, on the north side over there, Rogers, that happens over there. So they hiring the same type of people everywhere. What happens is that people aren't policing their own communities. You know what I mean? If you don't have the people there that really look like you and policing and is committed to policing their own community, then it really be like, oh, well, there's just them people here. I still be able to collect a check and so on and so forth, and we can move on.
Oh, no, because you were about to say something?
It's just wild, man. Because it's like every day you say a lot of people are dropping the fucking ball. And then like you say too, y'all been telling me one witness can come forward, and then it's like all the witnesses a lot of time end up missing or just move because they're scared. Or they come up dead. And they one of the bodies that one of them people got. It's just a lot, bro. It's a lot. It is a fucking lot.
I can tell you that people don't give a shit about what happens to. Okay, so say for instance, all right, I stay out west, right? Mm-hmm. I don't stay out south. I don't really give a shit about what's going on out south. I don't work out south. I don't give a shit about none of that that's going on. Go out there. Right? So only when you're over or I work where I work. I don't give a shit about where I work after I get off. Like it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I leave that there. Mm-hmm. Right? But when you're policing your own community and you have to go home to this every night, that's going to bring a definitely another level of, you know what I'm saying? Let me get shit right. Concern. Yeah, I want right? Right. I want versus my kids this is where I work at. I'm only worrying about it when I work here, but I live over there.
Yeah. Yeah, you not lying.
So you're saying that people that live in the community should police the community?
Yes.
What I'm saying, yeah, they should definitely hire more people from that community. And you know what I'm saying, obviously do certain things, have certain programs to make children want to do that. Now I get it. There's always there's a reason why people have a problem with the police. Like nobody's just making shit up. You know what I mean? So I do get it. Like I said, I've had my own interaction with the police. Does that make me hate them? No. You know, but I can see why people are resistant towards the police. Now, if you have to deal with that on a day-to-day basis, then of course it's going to make you even more resistant to the police. At a certain point, we had black people that used to be police officers. It wasn't a problem with being a police officer, and they used to police their own community, and it wasn't it was cool.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I don't know what year it was, but just everything changed.
The Napsy Beauty said, "Bring back the neighborhood watch party."
That's which is a good thing too.
A bunch of snitches.
You see, like how will
that's what it's perceived
how will people get into the point where they are policing their community? They would have to actively apply and work for those programs and apply to be a police officer, right? Mm-hmm. Do people do that? Yes, it happens. Yes, I'm not speaking absolutes. But in order for them to get hired as police officers, people would have to apply to be officers. But you can't be a police. A lot of people get backlash, even black police officers get backlash from being police officers because they are police officers.
Because they feed, a lot of the issue is, okay, if we got something going on, right? And we're community watch or neighborhood watch, I'm feeding your information and then you're feeding... Maybe the gang is paying you as a police officer, and you're feeding them back the information. This is the problem where we don't know who's the good cop, right? So a lot of times, when you have people outside of the community, they don't mind playing bad cop. You feed them information, right? They get money, they feed that shit back to whoever, hey, such and such is telling. Right? Boom. They don't mind because they don't even live there. I go right back over here to Mount Greenwood. That's what most of their ass stay. Right? Most police stay in Mount Greenwood up north somewhere. So they don't mind playing bad cop. And that's the problem. We don't know these people. We don't see these faces outside of their little shift.
Mm-mm. So people that are in the neighborhood wouldn't be persuaded by money as well?
I'm sure anybody could be persuaded about money. However, it seems as if the black community is the only community that don't have a lot of people that look like them patrolling the neighborhood. If you go over to Little Village, okay,
that's all you see.
That's all you see. Whatever you think Little Village is, right? If you go over to Bridgeport, you're gonna have Asian cops around Bridgeport. Or Chinatown, Asian cops around Chinatown, right? You go over to Belmont and Central, those are going to be mainly Polish cops, right? So, what's the problem with ours?
That's the question. Why aren't people trying to be police?
I think people are trying to be police. So if you go to Bellwood, a lot of them are black cops.
That's a fact.
So if you go to Maywood, a lot of those are black cops.
That's a fact too.
I'm not saying all, but a lot are. So I mean, it's clear.
80% of them.
It's to me, if you go to Broadview, a lot of them are black cops. So it's something that's going on. Because the firefighters. Let's take firefighters. What's the problem with that? Go to the firefighters in the black communities. Nobody's black. Nobody's black, and none of those. Like, it's rare that you get a black
Maywood
fighter.
it is though.
Huh?
I think in the Maywood one is still
No, I'm saying, and within the city. So your police department mirrors your fire department. It's basically the same shit. So at the very least, why ain't your fire department black? Since it's like, since it's nothing.
But you know what? I think it goes back again too, where we said this when we was we did our little fit when we was on our little, we was on our little How Haters, and we did an episode where families is not being a generation of those no more. Mm-hmm. It's everybody want to be a rapper. Everybody want to be a singer. Everybody want to be an internet influencer or some type of influencer instead of following in the footsteps of the generation of what it is. Like you say, we're truck drivers. We need to have a family of truck drivers. You can still do what you want to do on your off time, your free time.
But have your CDL in your back pocket.
Your CDL gonna have in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a firefighter? All your people should be firefighters. Mm-hmm. And that's what it comes down to too. Because all them Polish people that you said, there was a generation. I guarantee you, a generation.
All them glizzies. All them glizzies.
All of those Polish people are. All those are their generations. Yeah. All the Asians, generations.
Like that was decent.
At first it flew over my head because I was looking this up, but then he said.
So all of them are, but it's a generation of these things.
Lizzie people.
It's a generation of all these things that we need to get in contact with. But that's what it is about the white people, the Polish people, the glizzies as you call them, the Chinese, whatever ethnicity you are, it's a generation of those. Yeah. Like Indians, it'd be a generation of doctors. But if we get back into that and get back into the family structure, we'll have a lot of these people in our communities though.
I agree.
Go ahead. Nelson Beauty said, I heard the retired military personnel are trying to avoid the police officer career because of their poor reputation throughout the USA. That's what I'm saying. Like
they already got a point. Okay.
That's really what I was getting at. I couldn't articulate it well but it's like and this is a legit question. This isn't like trying to take a slight, but if you are from the neighborhood and you know that the neighborhood is bad, why would you want to get a job as a police officer and then work there? Now, granted, it's the job, but you know how dangerous it is regardless of that.
You putting in the work anyway. You on the block anyway. Might as well, you know what I'm saying, selling drugs anyway. Might as well. Might as well.
Nah, I can see. Because, I mean, if I'm doing that, I would. That's the question. I mean, I think it's you know, to be honest, separation of people. Separation of
else is
people's
doing
behavior.
that, Nobody else is doing that. And then if you
But see,
decide
look-
to go, you can go wherever you want to and be the most moral and stand up person, right? You can go to Madison, Wisconsin. Okay, those people may have a problem with you. You can say, "Hey, I'm Spaces. I'm Mr. Moral Guy." I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. I share the same morals as you, right? And I read the Bible too, guys. You know what I'm
Still a
saying?
nigga though.
But that's gonna be the problem.
Still a nigga.
Every other group isn't trying to segregate. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, every other group is segregating, right? So why is it that we have to? Why is it in order to no? What we need to do, because we got to put accountability on ourselves about certain things, is that we're gonna have to have those community watch parties and those neighborhood watches and stuff, and we're gonna have to start policing our own community and applying for that, and so on and so forth. That being a police officer, what's the problem? You make what, 80,000?
Yeah.
That's a solid job. That's middle class for most people. I don't have no problem. If my son tomorrow said, you know what, I want to be a police officer, I wouldn't have no problem with it. That beats being a drug dealer. That beats being a scammer. That beats being anything else. So I don't see what's the problem with it.
So honest living and you, what is I'm trying to say? And you contributing to society.
That's such and such from the community. Boom, you know that.
Yep. My son.
Now let's get more people on the board.
Mm-hmm.
That's such and such from the community. Now more and more. And we know him. We know him. Yeah, you know him. You know, at the very least, don't stand your ass right here when I come around.
Yeah.
At the very least.
I think that's ideal thinking. I think that's because, so actually, it says here the average police officer salary in Illinois is $66.
Yeah, that's the average. But
That's
they get decent OT. They get decent OT.
Yeah, they do.
Now, now you said, okay, cool. If your son said he wants to be a police officer, would you have questions about where they're stationing him?
You be a police officer wherever you want to.
No,
if you wanted to go to the military, could I have say on where he's hey, whatever you want to go.
No, I mean, he tells you that his commanding officer is stationing him at this place. Would you have questions?
Be careful. Just learn,
Hey, Natasha, how you doing?
But be careful for me is, what I'm saying, make sure you watch your back. You're not from over there, because you don't live over there.
Right.
So, yeah, be careful. But, at the end of the day, you still want to treat people with humility, right? I think a lot of times police officers walk around because they're not from over there. They have this arrogant attitude about themselves, and look down upon people, right? Every person that's from over there
it's not like that.
Is not right. Every person over there is not a criminal.
Yeah.
Right. So when I go places, I don't look at people as being criminals. Are there criminals around?
Yes.
Sure. But most people are trying to make it on a day-to-day basis, and then you have a sprinkling of criminals around. It's not like just everybody's a fucking criminal. Most people are willing to take advantage of anything, any opportunity, if they could, via blue collar crime, or white collar crime. If some person sees an opportunity, they'll take that. So it's just that what happens is a lot of the crime that happens within those impoverished neighborhoods is towards is towards each other. And that's the issue. But as a police officer, I don't think that you go over there into that community if you're going to be policing there every day and you shit on those people. You can still be stern. It's like being a parent, right? You can still be stern. You can still, have a straight face or whatever it is, but you don't, you don't have to talk all smug and shit to people.
Because I didn't do it, because that person didn't do nothing to you yet.
Right.
You got to treat everybody, like we always say, you got to treat everybody accordingly.
You know what they say though, with the police, they already have a negative reputation, right?
Yeah.
So it's when I think, okay, people in the same conversation, in the same idea of people policing their own neighborhoods, which don't get me wrong, I do not disagree. In my mind of logic, I know that truly is the best solution. I'm just thinking about the practicality of it, right? So if I'm in this neighborhood and I am a part of something that I know already has a bad reputation, if I happen to get somebody locked up or get somebody put behind jail, and I know that people, regardless of whatever the crime is that the person did, if I lock somebody up, their cousin, their relatives, their people are going to hate me. And because I police the neighborhood that I live, they know where I live.
Well, I'm not saying shoulder and beat and throw all this shit on your back, right? All I'm saying is if you had more people, so this isn't just a one-person thing, nobody's Superman, right? But if you had more people to become Supermen, right, and police the neighborhood, I think that this would work. It's it's a slow process, right? Nothing's turned around overnight.
Yeah.
But I think if, quote unquote, if you have white people still being police officers and wanting to be police officers, and you see every other group wanting to be police officers, you should be a police officer. You know why? Because guess what? They get paid. Okay? You see, what happens is, we talk about college, and a lot of times college, we think it could be a scam, right? Mm-hmm. Right? It was pushed to black people. And what I'm saying is, when you had every other group, still taking up trade, you still had your plumbers, you still had your electricians, and the people, the AC people, and the just everything, truck drivers, so on, and mechanics, right? But you decided to go to school. College. We should have also been pushing that for our children to continue doing that. Yeah. Because every other group was still doing that except ours.
I don't.
That's all I'm saying. Look, it just got to start somewhere. It's not an overnight thing. My wife, she says real quick. She wanted to.
She yelling at me.
No, she ain't.
I'm sorry, miss every day.
She say talk about COVID-19 shot is stopping a lot of summer jobs, because I had missed this. This was from earlier, but she say the COVID-19 shot is stopping a lot of summer jobs for the teenagers to work for the city, the state, and the park district. So a lot of times, she say that would be jobs for those teens.
So wait, if you didn't get the COVID shot, you can't work?
Well, yeah. So one of the requirements when Lloyd was there, is that if you work for the city in general, you had to have the COVID-19 shot. Okay. So that would affect people just like, I don't know, traffic control aid. Imagine being a traffic control aid and you got to take garbage truck drivers. Mm-hmm. You got to. It's almost like the fuck they got to do with me. I'm not around, but. So yeah.
Traffic control aid, is that the tollway?
No, traffic, crossing guards.
Oh, I guess you're kind of crossing with people. I guess. I get your point.
Right. So a lot of those park district jobs, just picking up paper off the ground, keeping parks clean. Mm-hmm. A lot of those would go to teenagers for the summer. Mm. If they don't have the COVID-19 shot, then they can't get them.
Some dumbass shit.
That stops a lot of people in general from getting jobs, right? So actual people who do want to work, right? We can talk about the whole people in general. Nursing, right? It wasn't a problem, or hospitals. It wasn't a problem when they were taking in people at first. These were the people on the front line, right? They call them the front line, right? It wasn't a problem then. Even the Chicago Police Department, firefighters, right? All have to take that. It wasn't a problem until when they were on the front line having to take before we had a vaccine.
It was cool, but then as soon as you come along, you gotta take it.
You gotta take it, or it's your job.
And that's fucked up. That was really fucked up. They were talking about that a lot, though. A lot of people say
how do you do people like that? So you do have people, but people, they have their moral right, or what I'm saying, like, hey, I don't want. They might have a religious reason. Religious reasons used for everything else.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I don't disagree with anything at all you said about this situation. I'm just thinking because, like, again, I'm just watching Snowfall, and there's a scene. I guess it's a spoiler if you haven't seen Snowfall, but
go watch it.
Yeah, it's a decent watch, but Franklin was in jail, got in jail, I guess, and I don't know what it technically is, but and he was in there with somebody that he had a previous run-in with. They're technically enemies. So they were beating up Franklin, and then Franklin got to a point where he got fed up with whatever was going on in his life, and then he went to the dude that was his enemy and said, "You keep messing with me, I know where your family lives." And I'm thinking that same thing with the whole policing thing. Like, you mess with my family as a police officer, you put my people away in jail, I know where you live.
But that's what any police officer does. You can come to any police officer and say that.
Yeah, they showed
But
up as judges.
Yeah,
I'm not-
that's for anybody.
I get what you're
It's
saying.
different when people are less likely to travel to you out when it comes outside. Like these people that we saw in the picture I just showed you.
Yeah.
They don't travel outside of that, too far outside of that little square, that little rectangle, wherever you want. So they're less likely to travel 35, 40 hour away from wherever it is to go see this person that caused an infraction in their family.
So what about the police that live outside of that police that little community, and they're getting the information for, where are they protecting the people? Let's say the police that we have now. If I were to give, Officer Spaces, right, information. Hey, I see somebody selling drugs right here, Officer Spaces, right? Now it's only going to get back to the drug dealer unless you, Officer Spaces, somehow leak that information, right? And I'm using as if Officer Spaces didn't work in the city. He worked in this neighborhood but didn't live in that community.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, where are you protecting the people that are there now? As an outsider, where are you doing that?
I don't understand.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, because you're saying the people within the community,
Okay.
right? If I'm the police officer, right, and they're gonna retaliate. If I'm working in, we could use you.
Yeah,
You live in the community,
I live in the community.
right?
Okay.
You're the police officer, and you say you may arrest somebody or something. They're gonna retaliate against you because you live there, right?
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But
Cool.
right now, you still have people within the community that are neighborhood watch and so on and so forth. You, Officer Spaces, now live outside of the community,
Okay.
right? But where is the protection given to the people that's giving the information to you, Officer Spaces, that lives outside of the community? You see?
Okay.
They still need protection. Even though you don't live there, the people that live there need protection. The only way the drug dealer will know that said household told that they were giving out,
Yeah.
information
Right.
is because you leaked it to them.
And I get what you're saying. So you're saying, okay. So
Nobody's protecting. What I'm saying is
protecting the people that's trying to protect the community.
Yeah, nobody is doing that. Okay, it should be even easier for you, a person that lives outside of the community, as a officer, to protect these people, because you no longer once this information is good with me, boom, we can make some arrests.
Couldn't I provide protection for them regardless of if I'm in the community or not, though? Because what could I possibly offer them more to them with me living and working in the community versus me living outside of the
Because it's
community?
your
and
community
working
as well. No, it's not your community if you don't live in it. It's just that it's just a job.
What I'm saying is, if you're outside the community, it seems like it would be easier for you to protect them because you have no, they're giving you the information. Cool, let somebody know who can do something with this. We can start surveillance, so on and so forth. They'll never know it's you. I can go back home.
outside of the community.
Outside of the community, right? I can do my job, but I can go back home. That's not happening.
But see, I get what you're saying, and I get what you're saying.
We can come back, make my arrest, or whoever, and boom, go back outside the community.
Ain't that what everybody do with work? Like, you come to work, do what's appropriate for your job, and then when work is over, you even said once you clock out.
Right. This is what I'm saying, though. My saying is that's why you need people within the community policing.
So maybe I didn't know that this whole time. Now, are you saying there should be police officers in the community as well as what Naps and Beauty said? Like, what did she say?
Neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood watch, or are you saying police?
I mean, they work together. Police and neighborhood watch. They work together. So of course you're gonna still have your neighborhood watch. They'll convey information to the police. If you live, whoever you are within that community. Okay, I live here, so I'm gonna tell Officer Spaces, hey, they're doing something down over there. Okay, cool. And then we'll figure out something. We'll go from there.
I trust me. I hear exactly what you're saying, and I don't have any disagreements with what you're saying. As it stands, the way not most people, the way too many people view the police doesn't work like that.
It's only not like that because of the outsiders that's not in the community.
I can't agree with that one, bro.
You gotta look at it like this though too. If you grew up in that neighborhood and you know April's son, Darius, because you stayed in there, you went to school with April.
Yeah.
You know she got a son. Even though that's not your son, you would still have a little sympathy for him because you know his mother.
Yes.
If you did not stay in the neighborhood, you don't know April's son, Darius, you don't really know this, you don't know him from a can of paint. So you're not going to feel anything about anything. You're not going to give him a chance like, bro, I know your mama. She wouldn't be, recommend or she wouldn't be happy about you out here doing that shit. Slow it down. Next time I come over here, it's a wrap for you.
Yeah.
At least you gave him a chance. Instead of you, off the bat, all right, I'm going to give you this and I'll put a little extra on you. Your ass going to jail. Instead of the 2 years, make sure you go to jail for 10.
Right. I get
That's
you.
what he's saying about in the policing, because you know April. You probably don't know Darius, but you know his mother. You knew his mother was a good lady. You knew she probably taught him that. She probably tried to teach him good sense. Yeah, but he just veered off. So you'll have a little bit more sympathy for that than if you stayed in Boys Town, but you policing over here out west.
Because you're going to make sure the little boys in Boys Town good.
Yeah. You're going to make sure. That's just like...
All right? You go back to your home, I guarantee you, those same police officers go back to their own neighborhood
and make sure.
And act like many police officers over there. Right?
And it's like if he get pulled over. Oh, I know him. Hey, man, slow the fuck down. What you doing?
Yeah.
But if he didn't know me, let me get your license and registration for the write you this ticket.
Those police officers act like
they give each other breaks all
them.
day. Yeah, they give each other breaks all day. So I get exactly what he's talking about. When you're talking about when policing in your own community from if you don't live in this community and you don't give a fuck about this community. You throwing paper on the grass like everybody else. Instead of you live in this community, you're going to pick that shit up.
I think I have two. Excuse me. I have two thoughts.
Damn, two?
This is hey man. As soon as you said you wanted to talk about the documentary, I'm like talking about all of the stuff that goes on and that he talked about in that documentary is a conversation in itself.
Yeah, it's a microcosm though. Like that is to me is a greater Chicago. That's the greater what's ever going on in other cities as well. Because again, this isn't just something about that little precinct, that little district. It happens everywhere throughout the country. So obviously, to me, there's an issue there. Like, it's not just something that's happening on the south side of Chicago. You can go to the west side of Chicago,
north,
and it's the same thing. You don't have to just go to the south side of Chicago. We can go to New York City, right? Okay, well, shit, let's go down to Florida, down in Miami. They doing the same thing in all the places where if the population is majority black, then there isn't any other people that look like them that's there. And then to me, that's not saying that you know what? To me, that has to be strategic. In all the cities outside of Memphis, they ain't got nobody who want to move. Nobody wants to move to Memphis in general. So Memphis, but they police.
I don't know if y'all be seeing when I was on the internet. I used to see this cop. He was a white bald head dude. I think they was in Louisiana somewhere. Mm-hmm. And he used to always come ride through, and everybody like, hey, how you doing? Everybody in the community knew him anyway. Mm-hmm. Now, when something go bad, he come knock on your door like, bro, I know that was you. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Because he know you. He have a rapport with you. He's not going to sit up here and just slam you on your head. He's not going to put a gun to your head. He's not going to have you fear. And you know when he come, he being fair. I don't give a fuck how much you thought he wasn't fair. You knew deep down in your heart he was fair with you. But it's just time for you to go now. You got to go to jail. Because I gave you chance after chance.
Back in the day, those police officers in general would get out their car, walk the beat.
Yep.
Ride the bike through the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? This is how people get familiar with you. Yeah. If they don't see nobody, then they gonna run amok and do what they want to.
Yeah, they see your grandmother. That's
So
that down
even if
south
you're
shit
from
right there.
outside of the community, you're still gonna have to build a rapport with people.
Yes.
And I think
That's what I. Sorry, go ahead.
that's the deal as well too. But again, what I'm saying is, I get what you're saying. But they're not even so far as doing that because these are these people over here.
I would wager that even if most people get a job and want to get more money because they want to get away from that.
Then why
For
are
what
you a
they're
police
experiencing.
officer? This is what the job entails. Like,
But here, let me present this idea to you. So, The Wire, right?
Mhm.
Now, I don't recall anyway. So there's a specific scene that I recall when it was early. It might have been season 1 or early season 2 when they did a raid on the high rises.
yeah,
And I forget what the full on situation was, but when long story short, the police were trying to do whatever they would do, and then instead of the people trying to cooperate and help the police figure out what they were doing, whoever did what, the people was throwing stuff down at the police officers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, couldn't that happen regardless of if I live in the community or not?
It's a fact.
The
Yes.
the
It
hate,
comes with the job, though.
I think it's different.
and you
though.
see why people are
It comes with
are-
the job. Like,
hold on, wait. So you see why people would hesitate to apply for that.
but that comes with the job. That comes with the territory. Ain't nothing, like you say, in absolutes where it's going to go perfectly straight like you think it is. It's always going to be pushback. You know this. So what's the problem?
When you use projects as an example, though, projects is specific. Those are buildings that people got to get into. So I think it's a little different from projects. Are definitely different than block by block situations. You've been in a project before? Have you been in a?
I don't want to say yes or no. I'm not. Maybe at some point in my life.
You don't want nobody to know you went to projects or something?
No. It's
I mean, I think it's because it's important. Like a lot of times, it's one way in,
One way out.
one way out. We don't know. I mean, again, that is TV, but you don't know who's in there running that show in that block. You know what I'm saying? Like CHA, like Chicago Public Housing Authority, they're supposed to be running it. A lot of times, they let the drug dealers run it. You know, at no point in time are there supposed to be snipers on the top of the CHA building. Okay, why didn't you know what I mean? Why aren't you, as authority? Why aren't you getting people to get him up off of there? How are you letting the gangs run this shit? This is your shit. How you letting the gangs run this shit? But again, you're funding so much money anywhere across the ocean. You're trying to fight a whole nother country over there where you have problems here.
right.
It's basically what I'm basically saying. It's like, okay, again, resources can be given to us
It's a fact.
to, combat different things here that we have going on.
And everything is not going to go as peachy as it should go. You're going to have pushback. So we sitting up here crying because a couple people said this or called you or named this or threw some paper at you. Come on, man.
Who would voluntarily
The white people did, so what was the problem?
like I'm saying, like, if people have smoke for the police and they're not being police officers, why would people sign up to be police officers knowing that you are just naturally hated by certain groups of people? You are just naturally hated. You are the enemy until you are proven to be a friend.
Why would you sign in to go into the military? You know across the world that you're an enemy to everybody else across the world, and it's a possibility that you're going to go to Iraq, Afghanistan, or anywhere else. Why would you sign up for that?
Because there's a low probability of that stuff happening.
What?
And two,
I know people that
I'm
died.
talking about going. I'm not disrespecting anybody that's died or anybody that's been through anything. I'm saying the amount of. I know people right now that's in the military. They spend more time chilling back in the reserve and training, than being out in those war situations. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the difference in how often you're going to be subjected to that. In the military, unless you're out on assignment,
That's the whole point of the military. And on top of that, we were at a downtime, right? But you got to think about it.
It ain't war really right now.
The whole, like, people go to the military thinking it's fun and shit, whatever, but The whole point of it is protection of the country and so on and so forth. So it's always a possibility that you can go. Now, just because we was in a downtime, I mean, think about how many people have died in wars, the Persian Gulf War. I'm talking about shit even before, the Afghan and the Pakistan, and you know what I'm saying, the one Iran and all that. Think about how many people have died in those. Vietnam and stuff like that. Like, it's always a possibility for war.
Natasha said this is why vets, officers, and most public servants. She said most public servants should be appreciated. I got all the love.
Except the ones that work it.
I got all the love, for real.
But
Respect at the very least.
But it's gonna be pushback in every field that you be in, bro. We can't just say because, they don't like me. Shit, they don't like us for the color of our skin. But that's gonna stop you from doing anything? No.
Being the police is a difficult job.
It's a fact.
Right.
It's just what it is. What it is.
But I think policing should be done as far as let's get people that this is 80% black. You got a affirmative action for everything else. Let's put 80% niggas over here.
I just don't think it's just because somebody said some words or just because some people don't like you is going to stop you from doing your job. You're still going to do what you need to do, man. And you should be policing. And you should want to police your own community because you know them people.
No, I think that's an assumption. That last part was an assumption.
What?
You said you know them people, like...
Bro, everybody, you can't sit up here and tell me if you live in a neighborhood, everybody don't kind of know everybody.
That's a good chunk. I mean, if you...
It's a good chunk of everybody know everybody.
You know who up and down this block.
Thank you. So that's not an assumption. That's it is a real fact.
I get what you're saying.
Is it like...
Do you know them personally? Do you go over there?
How big of an area do they police? Are they policing a few blocks, a few streets? Or are they policing a whole wide area?
They got different districts, bro. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said you know people from the area. I'm thinking about when I say area, the picture that we just saw. The few blocks between, what was it? Oh, let me pull up the picture again. But I'm saying, like, this, I think familiarity is definitely a factor in the overall result of police to civilian interaction. I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying I understand why people would be hesitant to sign up for that.
Okay, so
every other group.
Okay, so we're gonna use Maywood. So you think most of them police officers don't know mostly everybody that's in Maywood?
I don't know.
Jerry,
I'll be honest, I barely see the Maywood cops.
How many? Right, like I'll see them in their car.
I think it'd be like 2 of them. I'm just saying though, in general, I think if I look at every other group of people, like I've been saying, when you go into their neighborhood, this is who's there. This is the primary drivers. These are the people that you see. Like you go to Chinatown, you're mainly gonna see some Asian officers, and then they may be paired with a white officer, right? So it just needs to be more representation within the black community, right? So that's all I'm saying. You have to have people because every black person doesn't think that the police, that's a shit job. I think that's something that has been passed along to us. That's something that we think that everybody black is thinking like that. Again, we can also look at the firefighters, okay? Because if you don't, do you think it's a shit job? What? Being a police officer?
Not necessarily. I think it can be, but generally speaking, no.
No, right? So I think there's other people that think like you that may live in that neighborhood. Like, hey, this might not, but again, we can't change it by ourselves. We need other people to think like that and move on and move forward.
I don't disagree. I mean, because I'm thinking like the people in the O Block community. Mm-hmm. What do the police officers look like in that area? I'd wager that they were black. And in the documentary, every police officer, I mean, maybe except one, that he added into the documentary was black. So there is a representation of the people, and it's hard to say if
you been over there.
Have I been? Not as an adult at the very least. But so I'm only speaking for what I've seen. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, like, if to what you're saying, 80% of black people over here, then we need to make the police force over here 80% black for familiarity purposes, and then
No, because you live there. Not necessarily just for familiarity. See, the difference, and let's say we use O Block, right? O Block is a housing project. O Block is a housing project. Who they're going against, that's why it's so wide, those are actual blocks. O Block is just something that they call it O Block. So it's not a block. Those are actually housing projects with different units and buildings. So those are ran by, it's not even CHA anymore. I don't know who runs that shit. But those, so it's a little different. I don't know if you can get a whole bunch of kids from over there to be like, hey, I want to, but.
Can you? Can you? Because I'm saying
So look, let's offer a solution then. So what are you saying? Leave it to shit?
At this point,
I'm talking about, and this isn't just O Block. This isn't just Jaro City. I'm talking about every black community amongst because this isn't. We aren't the only ones who have this problem here in Chicago. This is just every city, right, has this problem. So are we saying every area that we are in, we should just leave them the shit and not try to?
So I am for separation of people, and I've seen it in other cultures of people, other communities of people. They separate themselves from those that exhibit the worst behavior traits, and I'm all for that.
Okay, where the bad? Where the bad Mexicans stand at versus the good ones here. Let's say United States, because we can't. Or shit, in their country, where they stand, and we're separating. Everybody's separating. Where are they going? Where are they living at?
That you would have to ask them. That piece of information I don't have.
In the cultures that you've seen.
So it's always been at the very least from a social standpoint. Like for instance, I went to a multicultural high school. If one person from a certain group was exhibiting bad behavior, not doing whatever it is that they deemed acceptable in their particular culture, they literally exercise them from them. Like, no, you are go find some other people to kick it with. No, you're not with us anymore.
But where do you live at? That's the whole thing. We talk about these are where people live. So where are they living at? And to me, that's economic. You can be, socially, remove yourself from anything, and you still got to live over there with them people. Still got to get home. Still got to hop on the same bus. I'm not saying that you have to, congregate and be with those people, but you still got to live over there. Who's policing those good? Who's helping protect the good people? Where do the good Mexicans stay at versus the bad ones, or the good Polish versus the bad ones?
I don't know.
Where would the good black people segregate themselves to? Do they move to Hyde Park?
Or I don't know. To that degree, I'm in my mind, we are the people who exhibit better behavior traits in society, who are productive members of society, really need to create our own group of people, our own community where, like, hey, pick that up off the ground. Don't throw that bag on. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to, and I don't see. It's sad to say, I don't see it happening that way, and I don't see nothing changing or nothing changing from the way things have been or the direction that a lot of things are going. Like, what do we do then? Do we stay and try to fix something that's clearly not trying to change, or do we just live with it, or do we just separate, figure out a way to work together to create a sustainable little community amongst each other and have our own group of civilized, I didn't want to say civilized, that's not the word, our own productive group.
What about, we keep going all day, because I want to know, like, where, like, if you ever looked at I ain't going to say the word, but you ever type in and see where the people who like kids stay at, where they going to live at? Do we separate ourselves? Can you do that? Is that legal?
How would you determine if that's legal or illegal?
If you could just separate, I'm asking. Like, that's a question. Is that legal? Can you just be like, I feel like you can just be able to move anywhere. So how do you do that?
Well,
Separation that, to me is like you're gonna have to put some nefarious stuff up to like that's why you got redlining and things like that to keep certain groups from moving. So have you ever looked it up though? Like people who like kids?
yeah.
You see how you see where they is at, they pretty close. It'd be like one in the same building.
Yeah.
you don't
seen
right?
That. I've seen that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like how do you separate?
And that's the conversation that needs to be had because again that's the question and I said that we need to separate, but the question is how. And on the other side is people that live in the community needs a police community, and everybody needs to be looking out for better behavior traits in the community as a whole group. But how do you do that when you got people that want to live a certain way, that want to exhibit the same behavior traits, that want to do whatever they want to do, but then you have people that live in the opposite directions, like, hey, what you're doing isn't right, and I don't want no parts of that. How do you do that?
You might be right, Natasha.
Oh, I'm sorry. Naps and Beauty said Maywood PD hires cops from Oak Park 2. Natasha Vincent said human nature often seeks angst in relative comfort. That's why you see substance abuse in high income neighborhoods. Unlike poorer communities, they can pay for harm reduction. Example, rehab stays. Man, you got anything, Ma? You've been quiet for a minute.
No, I ain't got no.
Niggas is, just the whole dynamic. What can we do to fix, the community in general? That's why I look at the King Von documentary. That's what made me think about it. Like just how many people are really dropping the ball, because this isn't necessarily beat cops either, right? The blue and whites. These are the
detectives.
These are the detectives, the ones that ain't even really in the community like that. So
yeah,
that's also a problem. Because, we said everything, okay, this is why a person basically wouldn't want to be a beat cop, right?
What is
a beat cop? The blue and white cops, the ones that pull you over,
The
the ones that issue the ticket.
The one in uniform.
So that means the homicide detectives, the ones who aren't really in the community, except to ask a few questions. Nobody's shooting at them.
No.
Nobody's shooting. They're not raiding buildings and people throwing garbage on them. So if it's 30 murders, I'm sure you can solve one.
Yeah.
That's your expertise, right? Look, you drive the truck, Mom. You drive the truck. If somebody tell you, hey, because you drive a 10 speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody tell you, hey, man, drive this 15 speed. I'm pretty sure eventually you're going to learn how to drive it.
Yeah.
Somebody throw you 30 bodies. I'm pretty sure this is your expertise. You know what to do.
You eventually going to find some type of clue in one of those murders.
Exactly. You got to be like, what are we doing? And then again, this isn't just here. This is and if he's responsible for 12 murders or whatever, then that's one person you get, and that'll wipe out. I don't think that's how it works, but that's one person, at least one extra person you can take off the street from committing murders.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. Like, y'all dropping the ball everywhere. So as soon as it's the police officer getting shot, they magically find who did that. Am I right?
And they shut down everything.
Natasha Vincent said, community is not fixable per se. You just decide what level of societal challenges, problems you're willing to tolerate from your chosen community. This is where classism comes in. Yeah, you came in a little late, but that's exactly what Maul was saying earlier. You're right, Natasha. And
you just gotta find. To me, you go to a community where you see where people got like-minded ideas and stuff like you and how they want to live. Then it's good.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think of as a means to start some level of separation, gated communities, and not necessarily the gate itself, but what it costs to live there.
It's a fact. We've been said that. Show your ID.
Oh, that's what they got taxes for. They don't need to do that. So that's a lot of things that keep a lot of people who are well-meaning people out and where they are. You know.
But that's the only thing that comes to mind for me, because
If somebody, I mean, if you gotta pay $20,000 a year on property taxes, yeah, you may be well-meaning, you may be the most moral, but you still
Everybody
stay
can't
over here in
afford
O
that.
Block. So
Everybody can't afford that.
yeah, I mean, I don't.
yeah, man.
Shit, being well-meaning and moral don't pay these bills.
It's a fact.
I'm gonna pay you T-Mobile with the moral card. Like,
I've been a good behavior.
yeah,
I got good morals. That should take care of my bill for this month.
I've been a law-abiding citizen.
give you free lights.
Yeah, man. That's all I got for today.
We did more than enough. Actually,
Yeah, we did way
a
more.
lot more
Yeah,
than enough.
you know me.
We did
Stop
enough for the
it.
day there.
Shit for 2 days.
He said that should last us 3 weeks.
That shit, yeah, we did a lot.
Hey, thanks for hanging around with us.
Yeah, for sure. So
Always good to see you, Natasha.
Sure it is.
Natasha, thank you. Who else is in here? Naps and Beauty, thank you.
Jay, every day your 8 accounts. Thank you.
Yep. I already logged out
About at least 5 of them.
all of them.
Got any parting words for a mesh today?
I think that whole episode was the mess.
Man, the whole episode
That
was
whole
the mess,
last-
man. What?
The
Hey,
hour
this-
was a mess.
Look,
last
man,
season.
people, we live in a kind of lawless day and age, where people just want to do what they want to. At the very least, if we want change, we got to start with our children. Yourself first. And whatever you change, you help instill that in your children, so we can move on into the next generation, so we're not stuck in some type of generational curse. So that's all for me.
Good one.
I actually want to. I like what Natasha said. Community is not fixable per se. You just decide what level of societal challenges or problems you're willing to tolerate from your chosen community. This is where classism comes in. Mar, you got anything you want to drop?
Classism. That's what we need to be based on. How much class do you got? That's if you can come stay over here and stay next to me. Classism.
Go check out the No Absolutes podcast. They have great conversations over there with Will Hill, my guy. This has been another edition of the KNoWKi podcast. Wear your crown, build your legacy, kings. This is your man Spaces.
Jay every day.
Hey, this your boy Maul, meeting the John.